match it with Joey and I. It'll be the last day that Joey covers for Sean, as Sean gets a bit of a late flight, so he won't be able to make it in. In any event, Adara has news at the big desk. Then we go to the boys.
Here with OGL popping here. There's a developer keynote at 1:30 p.m. I guess I'm seeing the summary from this keynote. Developers building applications in days that took just weeks or months a couple of years ago. Google is actually accelerating its own internal development velocity. So lots of posturing here from Google, but it is pushing higher. Now, I also want to talk here about the latest headline with oil and the market. Now, we know oil pushed higher, market pushed lower, likely as we were hearing that air defenses were activated in Tehran. Then Israel said, okay, but we have not actually, had any activity here. We are not getting involved in Iran. And then last but not least, now seeing some reports that any active air defense in Iran is probably posturing, it's performative, and it's not actually responding to any threat. So tons of backs and forth. If I hear anything else, I'll let you know. But guys, we're getting lots of moves. Not all of these moves will necessarily have a news catalyst, but I'll keep you posted every time they do. So stick with us at Trader TV Live. Back to the guys.
Thank you, Adara. What a ridiculous day it's been. No questions asked. I mean, you went from nothing happening in oil to ridiculous breakout to now an absolute dump fest. You've got to be kidding me. Everything turned around in a second. Whatever, that's still fine. Everything turned around in a second, and you don't know where your bread is gonna get buttered. I think a lot of times, right? You can have the market's going to be doing one thing, and then all of a sudden, boom, we just go into a whole nother level. And maybe this afternoon we're going to get some increased volatility. Feels like it, right? You got A shape already going on right now. But we always talk about every single day you come and watch us at 8 o'clock, right? And we're on all day long, and that's how it should be as far as I'm concerned. And we started out earlier, and we used to be at 8:30, and we started out earlier because we wanted to be a little bit more prepared for the market. And the truth of the matter is, you're not looking for 50 or 100 things to trade in the morning. You're just looking for that small pocket, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that you are focused on a few ideas that are going to make you the best returns. It's all about how do you narrow it down and know what to trade in any given moment, Joe.
And that's exactly it. You hit that on the head, Neil, narrowing down your watch list. Now, how exactly do we do that? Especially leading into earnings season, we have the headline-driven market where so many things are moving higher and lower, but how do we really focus on something and narrow down our watch list? There's multiple ways we can do that, but first things first, what we want to focus on, which sector is strong and how many names within that sector, within the subsector as well, are going to remain strong or potentially break down. It's key for us to note this. Now, we're going to go over a prime example here on New Scale Power, SMR. We've seen multiple days, a double session where we were strong, not only in the latter half of the previous day, but leading into the pre-market as well, too. So with that being said, we have a sector that is strong in multiple names within it, continuing to climb higher. But at some point, something's got to give. And that's exactly what we established here. We narrowed down our watch list. We had the headline-driven market, but let's focus on the nuclear power sector and see if we can find a trade within that. So exactly what we have going on here is a pre-market rally, a yesterday later in the session rally from 2 o'clock on, but then as we open, the sentiment changes within that underlying session. So what we want to focus on here is, are we going to remain weak, or are sellers going to break this down and remain in control? Now, what we have to do here is essentially, once we've narrowed everything down and we've hyper-focused on a stock, we can tell by multiple ways, not only the tape, the level 2, but within price action itself. So opening drive, the first 10 minutes of the session, we have an aggressive selling candle, engulfing essentially all of the gains that we had in the pre-market. Now we have this rally and we have a recovery, but one thing that we noticed via the volume is that this pullback is relatively weak compared to the aggressive selling that we've seen earlier. We're hyper-focused, we've narrowed down our watch list, and now we're just looking at this one specific name. We have a pullback into the volume-weighted average price, and then we have this initial flush lower in which we start to take partials out. But the key to this is that even though we have some earnings reports, Tesla in the headlines, Intel reporting today after the bell, we focused on a specific sector and a specific name, and that's really key to narrowing down your watch list.
Like, you're gonna have tens, dozens, multiple gappers and runners, all that have stories in them, and you can weed it down to a watch list. We have a free one out here, and it'll look like ours is pretty decent. It'll usually have like less than 10 names or so, but every single one of those names, you have got to go in, look at the higher time frame. Look at all the individual charts. Go to the daily chart, go to the 15-minute, or whatever that works for you, and identify whether it's something that you want to trade. And you go right down the line, one by one. You've got that time in the pre-market so that you can land on the one stock. And then, as Joe was mentioning, you don't get bogged down with all the noise because you've narrowed in and focused. But you have to start by going down the line. You go through each and individual name, you look at the different time frames, you select the one that works for you, and then you hit it, Joe.
Absolutely. Hit it on the head once again, Neil. Now, there was a couple theses that I built, and that's key. When you narrow down your watch list and you're thinking of a game plan, it also gives you the opportunity to audible, just in case plan A doesn't work, and then we turn to plan B. So essentially what we have here is this pullback into the volume-weighted average price, in which I was initially anticipating a continuation of yesterday's strong session and the pre-market, but that wasn't the case. So we flip the thesis, we go to plan B, and we're prepared to give back the majority of the rally that we see not only in the pre-market, but on yesterday's session as well. So what we have is this initial leg lower, a consolidation, while the market is continuing to climb. Once again, we're hyper-focused on this one name. Why? Because we narrowed down the watch list. The market's climbing, we have new scale power not participating in the rally, and then boom, we add into this position, we reload it, and then we have the headline sensitivity step in, and sure enough, what does that do? As the market starts to pull back in, we have the additional leg plus an increase of share size for that second leg lower. But none of this happens if you don't narrow down your watch list, you weave out all of the names with the noise, and you hyper-focus on that one specific trade.
So many opportunities. You're going to have all kinds of signals going off in your head or popping off, gappers here and there. You just want to make sure you take emotion out of it, and you do that a lot of times with your pre-market preparation and knowing what you want to focus on. So maybe the market's going crazy, but you don't have to go crazy because you know what you've got your focus with. And speaking of focus, we're focused, man. And let's be real, it is on headlines. Just to get you guys back to what's going on in USO, I've got a few positions. None of them are, I can go over them and I will in just a quick little bit. One should be obvious, beyond me at VWAP, so that's that. I said I would short Hertz. When car caught a bounce, I shorted into Hertz because I said I would, and I thought that would be a lower hanging fruit. And then I'm in Boyle because, well, I saw this nonsense happening and then decided. I usually have been telling you that Boyle is weekly really weak, but there was just an opportunity for a break. So I got a break, we pull it into VWAP, I have a little bit left, I had a break-even stop. I'm inclined to leave it in. The other way to play it is to just let it break the trend and then move it back in if it breaks like 1285 or so. And then there's this Skills Inc. That's all I gotta say. I'm not going to lie to you, everybody. When Sharif got out at the high on Skills, and then I saw that down halt, and then it opened back up 15 and then halted down again, it's like, yeah, that thing's done. You know, congratulations. And a lot of people banked on. I'm like, yeah, there's no chance. It just bounced off VWAP and gave traders another $3 here. So this one is probably not dead. I'm not going to bother counting the halts. Let's just say 20 and make up a number and be like, it probably halts another few times before we get to the close. But even it just goes to show, sometimes you get like a crazy stock which doesn't have any semblance of normality, and it decides it wants to bounce off VWAP too. So it's a great it's a great area to look. I'm not telling you that all of these things will always bounce off of the volume weighted average price, but sometimes that's just how it works. So congrats on anyone that is in skills. I think we'll be pretty hyper-focused. It's unavoidable on USO, which is pulling back again itself into VWAP. Like the A shape, it's insanity how much volatility there is. I'm actually surprised, to be honest, with this pullback that, I mean, Boyle's not gas, but I mean, it's still an energy play. Like this was the weakest thing out. It was like one of the weakest charts out there. And when there was a bounce, it was an easy breakout. It was a lagger too, but I'm surprised it hasn't pulled back a little bit more. I don't want to get trapped with this. So I am going to tighten up that stop. We'll tighten that stop up. The only other things I'm in are like sort of an obvious beyond meat at VWAP kind of deal. So kind of trapped me in, small punch, and then waited for it to crest at the volume weighted average price. And the second it ticked lower, is kind of jump in and play it to the low. So I'll sit in this. I'm in Hertz as a, like kind of short, I just shorted the pop. I said I waited for Hertz to get to VWAP, it just never got there. You know, car has been bleeding all day long, and this was a sympathy one.
Is it still going?
Car?
Yeah.
This is going to be in textbooks. Oh, by the way, I pulled, you seen skills on like the monthly? I didn't know this thing, because it probably had like, there's only one split in here too, which doesn't make any sense. That's crazy.
It is mad.
Yeah, I do think Avis is going to end up in some textbooks, and lots of people are going to be talking about this one. But it is now down to 218. The low is 13. It actually pulled back and tagged the July highs in Avis. It could see maybe the 50 period. So if you look at this, like this was here at April 6th. So you're talking 2.5 weeks ago in what was a parabolic move up. 2.5 weeks in 2 days. Escalator, it's the escalator up and it's the elevator down. That is how they work. Ari Pages is telling me the textbooks may no longer exist by 2033. You're right. Steven, yeah, Carr did do this. We pulled this chart. Well, we pulled this chart up before. We were on the show when this happened. It didn't do it this. The distinction that we made, I think, when we brought this up earlier in the week was that, yeah, Avis did this, but not the same way.
Yeah.
It wasn't as rapid. It didn't go quite, percentage-wise, it was close to as far, around the same, but it wasn't as rapid to the upside. It was a little bit more measured to begin with, and then it got out of hand. This one got out of hand a lot faster than it did. And I remember we had been on, it was our second year on YouTube when Avis did this. So yeah, we do remember it. This one was built differently. There's pretty much no ifs, ands, or buts.
So you've been through this scenario before?
It wasn't quite, no, it wasn't as explosive as this one. No, there's no chance.
But it was still in that meme kind of aspect.
It was definitely a meme stock. It wasn't as fast as at the beginning, and then it really started to ramp up. Whereas this got, again, out of hand very, very quickly. And as that continues to fall, that's the reason why I just said, forget it, let's just be in Hertz and sit in it, because that way, like, I can see Carr halting up or coming back in, and this shouldn't care. Like, if this was only up on sympathy in the first place when this whole thing started, like, it's got a lot of room to go from where this whole thing started, and it's playing into the 200, which gives me a bit of an out. But really, the idea here this afternoon, outside of what I'm in, I don't want a daily for USO, would be if this bounces off VWAP, like if USO can catch a bit of a bid here, you're looking at what was pretty nasty in the Qs, and has already made a pretty hefty bounce. A bounce off VWAP and a retracement to the highs is like a VWAP short. So I'm looking for places that if USO bounces, I want to continue. Now, I didn't get my silver short this morning, but when literally all you-know-what was breaking loose, I was like, oh, well, I like the short in silver, and the market's dumping now, so well, I'll just short that. And I got pretty fortunate. I've said this again. There's times I'll get the bottom wick, but you have to remember that I'm going to look to get out when it gets to a key price level. So I see anything weird on the tape, I just kind of punch out. And then sometimes I'll get the low, and other times I'll look like an idiot because it'll go like another $1. This is one of those times that it just happens to look good. And I try not to, it is what it is. But this skill stock, Would be amazing. It's just halted again. If this gets back to the highs, that's, it's kind of a different level of pain if you break 20 now, because it already, like, anybody that wanted to short this, they're feeling themselves. And they're thinking back to whatever.
How many halts though? Like, how many halts did you have? Like, when did you start shorting it?
I don't know. I don't short these things, but my guess is,
I think after the first halt down, you get out. It's like if you're long, right?
If you're long, yes.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking about those that went heavy, thinking this is going to go back all the way because they're like, whatever. To me, there's still some in there, and there's still some that feel pretty confident about shorting back into that high. If this is able to take 20 again, it does get pretty nasty, for sure. We'll see. Then, again, I'm going to be looking at this USO, and I know people are probably tired of all this focus on what's happening in oil and oil futures. It's unavoidable here.
It is.
There's not much we can do about it. We know we have Intel reporting tonight. Here's the USO basically doing nothing. Now everything is slowed down. Intel, which, I mean, I came on my note, it's like the first thing, and it said long, and I didn't go long. I ended up going short a couple times. But they are up almost 4%. Like, Intel's running into this earnings print. It's above VWAP and the market's beneath it. They're up for a multitude of reasons. I mean, one of them, you did a Mobileye report positively and do a buyback or authorize a $250 million buyback, and that boosted the stock. You also had Elon mentioning Intel with the terafab, and that's another positive for them going into their earnings print. Yeah, they should report. They're going to be reporting just after 4 o'clock, which is something that we'll get to almost right away. So it should be rapid fire, and they're adjacent to their highs, not all-time highs. These would be like, I don't know, 6-year highs or something along those lines.
Yeah.
What an insane day, man.
It's been insane, man. You're telling me, man. We had some big time, like, it's like, okay, we tried 2 on the reversal. I'm glad that we got out. We should have just took that break even, give us the opportunity to re-engage. And that was just like, okay, we didn't take this opportunity here. So what it is, right? You just learn from those mistakes and don't make them. I was looking for the momentum play, and it didn't come, and it just came against me. I'm glad that we got out, but when we put on a trade like SMR, it's just like, hey, sometimes it's just best to stick with what you've set up here today. We just talked about just narrowing down your watch list. I didn't take the NASDAQ earlier in the day, and then sure enough, it's just like, okay, this was a good one, but unfortunately we give some back. Off of this, the NASDAQ and the USO, looking for that nice spike higher. It's huge how much, like, the weight of each catalyst matters, obviously, because we've heard the back and forth, and then sure enough, when you have something along the lines, it's like, okay, we're ready to, unfortunately, just hit the red button once again and start firing things off. Market's going to price that out. So SMR down 6%. We have the TQs down 1.6%, going to put the NASDAQ around, what is it, about like 0.4% roughly there. So on the Qs is 3x levered. So you got to just be really cautious of what's going on.
You know what you got to do?
Down 0.5, yeah, about 0.5%.
The thing is, when you're watching all this unfold, just picture it this way. When something's crazy, it doesn't have to be like Avis. Because it could be like Palantir on the bid in the midst of this as everything is falling. Like, it could be NVIDIA. It could be the Qs.
Yeah, stronger, yeah.
You remember Terry Tate, the Office linebacker?
Terry Tate?
Y'all know remember Terry Tate, the Office linebacker?
No.
If you fouled up, you look it up. If you fouled up in the office in any way, now you didn't make a new pot of coffee after you killed it.
Yeah.
Maybe you didn't file your TPS report correctly.
Ooh.
You would see Terry Tate lingering. And he give you the, because you know the train was coming. And if the train is coming, you see USO go absolutely ham.
Did you
don't
set that
sit
up?
On that bid.
Did you set that up? How did they know to hit the train?
Did you do this?
Wow.
Don't worry about it.
Magical.
If you don't know Terry Tate, but that's what it feels like. And all you can do is sit and wait in the cut. If you're trying to go long into that, you can just sit and wait in the cut until something looks distinctly different. Right, like we talk about like patience or what, like look at that winding bottom on the Qs. And the best thing about it too is it can give you a reason to get out as well. Like, just be able to see it. Why is someone typing beyond? What's going on? It's still falling. I think this gets to the low 90s. But that doesn't really matter. You have to be very careful. But it can give you an indication as to what is, like, where you want to be. I went the other direction. Like, I was short for the most part, so I was looking for exits. Like, I wasn't trying to catch the bottom. But if you look at the 3-minute, I don't usually use a 1 minute. But if you look at the 1 minute as opposed to a 3-minute here. Now look at AMD right now on a 1 minute. First of all, this is ridiculous in VWAP. But you can basically see this rejection, like big wild candles. You get a little bit of condenses, then you get this reversal candle. Like, very clear. The second that candle closes, it's like, okay, there's a bottom wick, that's tight, boom. And you can really just sort of, now you're punching in here if you're looking for the long because of this candle, and then you're just immediately taking the break of the prior two. That's really tight. Now, for myself, that would have required jumping from a 3 to a 1, because it's not as clear on a 3-minute. But you know what? Here come the shorts again, because USO is
something might be stepping in here.
Bouncing off VWAP again.
Yeah, it's bouncing off of this $59 mark right here, guys, on the NASDAQ. So let's pull it out. I got SMR up here. Let's head back over to the TQQs and see what we got going on. I can't see anything. There we go on NASDAQ Pro Share. So there is somewhat of a bounce going on, and I want to post up at the lower end of this range to see if we can get in. Now, what I had was a piece essentially most of it out, or I guess 60%. We get stopped out a little bit right there. I would have loved to have that break even, but it was just so quick. And I'm like, all right, let's see if we find another bounce. And then sure enough, you get it. But I wasn't going to allow it to crack through that low, because if I had that amount of shares on from this trade and it hit that, it would be disastrous, right? Like, it's just like, it's a hole from the month that you essentially can't dig out of. And that's why I was just telling Neil from before, it's like, I'm keeping my losses at a fixed rate so that when I do start to climb out of the hole, I don't have so much ground to cover. And I need to take that into consideration. There's a massive opportunity right here that we missed out on. It is what it is, but we have our eyes on USO. If it continues to slide, then we might be able to find another opportunity to get involved with the NASDAQ for a nice move back in towards the volume-weighted average price. We need the precise entry. We need to make sure our risk to reward is there, and then we also need to share size accordingly, just in case it does come against us. And it's one of those trades that takes multiple attempts in order for it to get going. But how we're holding up right now, we were talking about the shelf before on Bitcoin. It's giving me shelf vibes, even though it's a V-shaped reversal. Shelf vibes below the volume-weighted average price and continuously bouncing off of this. So if we see a liquidity grab and some indecision prints south of these levels, and you run into 58.80, then I think that's going to be a good opportunity. Unless we're continuously starting to curl over, and we have 1 minute candles sit on top of the range, not necessarily always running into that area and then rejecting, running into it on multiple occasions, rejecting. So we have to be patient and we have to be precise. My boy Trader knows this shit. Yeah, I appreciate that. But I mean, hey, listen, Angelo, I appreciate you truly, but it would have been smart to me to just sit on my hands, especially after what we did in SMR. Lock in those gains in the day, and now, essentially what we had from an all-day fader, right? Like, on multiple attempts, you have the reload, like a trade that is almost like, I'm not going to toot my own horn too much or anything along those lines, but that's textbook. You have the leg down, you wait for the curl over, you roll over, and then you almost catch the low of the day. But instead, we were chasing momentum and volatility in the NASDAQ, and that caused us.
You know what? I got to throw this up from one of our viewers, because this is such a great point. Ching, ching. This is just a comment from S.A. Walker. I'm like, Saw. Should have known better in hindsight. VIX didn't jump up like crazy. So I'm guessing you were looking to catch the bid, and maybe you didn't. I don't know. But either way, it is a good point. Like, there's a limit to how bad it's going to get if we don't do anything too crazy. I have let's go to like a 15-minute. I don't like a 1 hour. Just to be able to show you like how little the move up was in VIX. We broke 20, we didn't see 25, we didn't even see 22. And if you pull us back to, let's say, 4 hours, yeah, that's good enough. Like, we still stayed in the bottom end of the range that we've been in since April, right? Like, the gap down, like, everything stayed in that calm range, and we didn't even hold any kind of a trend up. And I think that's a good observation, because what that does, S.A. Walker, that's the thing, I want to say a first name there, but S.A. what that does is now, maybe if you see a similar type of situation, you'll know, okay, look, keep the VIX up when I see that kind of a flash. If I don't see enough continuation, maybe you're looking for that curl, because I'm assuming maybe you missed the bottom on something. That's why you would post that. And then all of a sudden you'll have that indicator there for you that you're locked and loaded and ready to go, and you can be a bit patient about maybe cashing that bid or where you get out of your shorts or whatever it might be. Let's go up to the desk. We've got Sia.
Yeah, just a couple comments from U.S. President Donald Trump here saying that he is under no pressure to end the Iran conflict, rejecting media claims and insisting that he will only act on his own timeline. Iran deal only made, coming from U.S. President Donald Trump, when appropriate and good for the U.S. allies and world. Trump also saying that he's not anxious to end Iran conflict. We have all the time in the world, but Iran does not. Iran blockade is airtight and strong. I'm not seeing USO currently react that much at the moment, but that is your news for now. U.S. President Donald Trump on Truth Social.
Got to pay attention, and that's why we have Sia. That's why we have Adara.
On fire right now, man.
He just broke VWAP on Boyle. Well, I love when a trend trade gets lucky. Like this was one of those, like the stars aligned, because it was an all-day trend break at the moment when like USO and everything went ham. So it's like it's an energy long trade that also happened to be a trend, but it's gone to VWAP. I'm holding this one through because I just can't think of a reason why I shouldn't at this point. Like I've decided to trail it to here, which does mean I keep at some point should automate something that if I draw a trend line, I can move a trail underneath it, but until then, I just keep manually moving the trail. So now the trail that we've hit VWAP becomes under that bar, so it'll be about like 1290-ish or so as it continues to go higher. BLM's doing its own thing. Same thing with Hertz. When I check back in on this, it's like it just bounced away from my bid. I'll just move it up a little bit, just a tiny little bit, to try and capture it. I should have been in front of that bottom. Yeah. But this one will be different because I'm giving it right to my entry point unless something crazy happens on Avis. That's the way I see it. And if you think about, again, what should be leading us this afternoon, I don't think rushing into anything new makes sense. Like the USO's bounced off VWAP, but we're very, very within the range, very much so. Like it was $1, 133 to 134. We will have oil futures themselves close in a few minutes here. But if we don't break away from this consolidation, there could just be a lot of choppiness. So I'm more of in a hold mode, and if the trend breaks on the things that I'm in, fine, I can jump out of them, but I'm not going to be jumping too crazy into anything. Yeah. Like remember, AMD's pulling back without much happening. Like the futures are still holding near VWAP, so there's a little bit of relative weakness maybe in advanced micro devices. I suppose that's one place I could lean. I was going to silver is what I wanted, but silver is SLV. SLV's not doing anything. So I'll probably lean toward AMD if there's an opportunity.
Yeah, I agree. So like what I'm looking at here, and I'm kind of in a push and pull scenario. Yo, listen, I'm going to give some shout outs before I get into my little spiel here. Essentially, Knockout 358, Big Scalp, appreciate you. We'll take a look at that, but we got 4SKM. Much love. Like, again, across the board. I don't want to miss anybody here. Mint Cornetto. Much love, trust me. Sloppy Gorilla, I appreciate everything. AMPC, man, you guys are absolutely G-Miz Duash. Sorry if I butchered that, but just everyone across the board, much appreciated. G-Zim Dish. Sorry, I don't want to butcher your name or anything. Again, I can't be more appreciative and thankful for those kind words, man. Keep rocking on, keep doing your things, and trust me, whatever you guys have to say goes significantly further than what you're expecting. So thank you, guys. All right, now let's get into this spiel. We're going to stick to this name. We were talking about hyper-focusing on a certain name. All right, what is USO doing? Can we catch the lower end of this range? And are we going to get that move back into the volume-weighted average price? Or is this shelf going to break? All right, so those are the two questions that I'm asking myself. How am I going to identify an opportunity to get involved? Well, let's see. If the tape remains strong and we continuously have these 1-minute candles opening up where they are right now with very little defense, then maybe we can get that move back into VWAP and recover a little bit of that move. So there it goes, a nice uptick in in the TQQs. Now, if we get a pullback and a retest on a downtick, then maybe I can start to participate in that move a little bit higher. The volume weighted average price would absolutely be Ponyboy golden on that one there, Neil, and there it goes. All right, let's rock and roll. Let's see if we can get this move as USO is starting to downtick, and we're about to breach VWAP here on. Yes, let's go, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we're talking about. A nice move there. Oh, man, just like that. Just reading the tape, getting in and out is exactly what we needed. So a nice move on TQs as we break through that resistance zone.
Yeah, we busted through.
Yeah, that's
I love
what I was looking for.
If we lose this volume weighted average price on USO, it's game over, man.
Yeah, it is, man.
You know what? I was actually maybe psyched out here.
Or it could be a false break, too.
No, I took more offer out because I see USO coming back. In the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, well, we should be heading down at some point here. I got to move the trailing stop again. This is going to be now underneath the 13 level. As long as we hold 13, pretty good. But if the market wants to reverse, I guess it's not going to care. Yeah, okay, good thing Beyond Meat doesn't give a darn what's going on over there. Unfortunately, AMD... Oh, maybe fortunately. Fortunately for AMD, it's close to that VWAP. It's moving more than the overall market, but if I don't see USO bust through the volume-weighted average price, I don't know how much I like that. I just think it's chop. So I'm going to stick with what we're in. If I get this breaking down and doing something different, then I want to take some action. Let's go back up to the desk with Sia.
Just before I dive into happening now, again, an update. U.S. President Donald Trump on Truth Social saying the clock is ticking to Iran. Anyways, we're going to move on with our happening now. The news I have for you today, I'm going to talk about the first stock. LMT has reported a defense demand in its earnings. Although Lockheed Martin has reported a lower first quarter profit today, high costs on fixed price contracts and production slowdowns are also undercutting the ability to cash in on demand. Total revenue for the quarter is now standing in at $18 billion, which is roughly flat from a year ago. The company has reported a first quarter profit of $6.44 per share compared with the $7.28 per share last year. As we all are aware, global conflicts, including the ongoing Iran war, have prompted a surge for demand in missiles, munitions, and aircrafts. With that being said, diving deeper into the specifics, aeronautics profit has been weighed down by production performance and development delays for its F-16 fighter jet. The C-130 transport aircraft program has also faced delays due to some suppliers still working to make the specialized parts for the fighter jet. And lower volumes on classified programs have resulted in sales in the aeronautics segment being lower by $325 million. Marquee F-35 fighter jet sales have supplied the U.S. and 19 allied nations have partially also offset the segment decreases. Currently, LMT down in the red by 4%. Next talk. As Joey was mentioning when we were talking about the WBD and Paramount thing, Netflix has posted a $25 billion buyback in the bid to boost its share price. Just diving into a little bit of the specifics here, Netflix's board has officially added $25 billion to the existing stock buyback program. The new authorization is adding to the $6.8 billion, which is a rough estimate, remaining from a prior $15 billion program approved in late 2024. And Netflix is reported having more than 4.2 billion shares outstanding as of the 31st of March. The company currently has a market cap of nearly $393 million, according to recent valuation data. This buyback authorization, as we talked about earlier in the show, comes after Netflix earlier this year dropped its $72 billion bid for WBD. Currently, Netflix in the red, 0.17%.
I have to mention here, we have a headline for SNAP, Snapchat to the downside. SNAP dropping on reports that Meta's launching a competitor to Snapchat. This is being reported by the Business Insider, apparently a new app that will be in the same sector here in business as SNAP. SNAP trading near day's lows. Back to you.
Good stuff.
Sucks to be them.
Snapchat? My OG platform.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You love Snapchat.
Yeah, I do. I love it. I mean, that was like...
Okay, well, then you're a good person to ask. If there's a direct competitor that Meta comes out with, do you see it being a threat?
But yeah, I mean, so the way that I look at it is, I mean, when you have this platform that's already essentially a super giant in this, yeah, it's going to hurt it quite a bit. I mean, but it's funny that we think of like Snapchat as it is its smaller little cousin or whatever it may be, but it still has like 300 million users on it, right? Like a substantial amount, like compared to what we have, right? So it's like it's small, but it's not anything. You know what I mean? It wasn't like I don't know if you remember Vine or anything along those lines. Like Vine was.
Okay, first of all, you know I'm old, so you know.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I remember Vine.
I didn't mean to do that, man.
No, but you know I do remember. Of course.
Oh, okay, all right. I was gonna say I didn't mean to put you on the spot like that. I don't even know if Sia would know what Vine was, but Vine was an OG.
About what? Sorry.
Vine, like the old social media.
Of course I know Vine.
Okay, you know
That's
Vine.
How I found Logan Paul and Jake Paul.
Oh, okay, all right, bang. So there it is, guys. Nice little move. But no, I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon, like Snapchat. I could be totally wrong, but I think it's OG. It has people like me who are still sitting involved in that. All right, guys, let's take a little bit more off here. Oh, man, oh, man. Oh, okay, yeah, that's good. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there it is. A big time recovery. I told you guys, full disclosure, after everything we did on SMR, green to red, not good. I typically don't do that. We try a couple attempts. There were some opportunities that I missed, but at the end of the day, we're just slowly crawling out. Neil, as we typically say in the poker world, a chip
in a chair.
Chip in a chair, man. Joe getting into adulthood for sure. Hey, man, I'm going to be honest with you. I still feel like my body may not be like that, but mentally, kind of like still 24. You know what I mean? Maybe. That's generous.
You know what? I feel like, dudes, yeah, man, like you're as young as you feel. Again, the body doesn't always tend to agree with you on that. Trust me, that's like 1,000% true.
Yeah.
But I'm like yesterday. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. I had probably the coolest evening. I had the coolest evening yesterday, and my daughter had no activities. I'm like, we can do anything you want. The weather was ridiculous. I'm like, we'll probably go outside, play catch. I'm like, you have time for dinner. I just got to do a few things. And she's like, can I just play outside before you come out? My daughter's playing outside. I come outside, and one of the neighbors already come by. So now she's playing with like one of the girls from across the street. I guess some kids 2 houses down heard the kids playing. And then 2 more kids from 2 houses down are now playing in our front yard.
Yeah.
So they go into our backyard,
yeah.
And then 2 more kids come, and it's like 6 kids. Then another kid finishes. I had 7 kids in my backyard playing. A couple of parents just came by.
That's all right, man.
And then I got to go inside and make dinner. My wife's out of town. So I go inside, and I'm like, you guys can still play, do what you got to do. When I call Erin, she's got to come eat dinner.
Yeah.
I call Erin inside, we're eating dinner, and all of a sudden, I'm like, why do I still hear? And they're still playing in our yard. And then maybe 15 minutes later, they knock on the door. Can Erin come back out to play? I'm like, yeah, when she's done, she can go out. And they literally stayed playing just in our yard. Just stayed playing. I'm like, I'm glad I'm in a neighborhood where that could happen.
Yeah.
It was like and that made me feel like it took me back to my childhood the second the weather got nice.
Yeah.
That's all. You just started playing outside with your friends,
what it is.
man.
And you were out until the lights.
Until the lights went down.
Until the lights went down, and people. So, anyways, before I moved, we'll make this quick. Before I moved up north to Bradford, Ontario, I lived in an apartment building in Rexdale. Okay, and like.
Holla.
Yeah, exactly. So you know what I mean. I had a bunch of friends. I was him. I'm gonna say it. I'm not gonna lie. And everybody would hang out. Like I had friends above me, below me, and it's as soon as you seen one of them outside playing in the big front yard, it's the rest. Everybody's outside, and all you did was just yell to your balcony and get your parents to throw down your toys. And that's what it was. That's the lifestyle that we lived in. We were outside until like we had to go back in. And I think a little bit of that is missing.
I can agree with that too, but I'm seeing my brother grow up right now, and all their playtime is basically iPads and PS5s.
It's different.
And we have to force them to get out of the house.
It's different. Yeah, it's different times. It's different times.
Look, I'm not judging. Like you've got to, like you're going to use devices. You are like it's the world we live in. But man, you're a kid. Just be a kid. Like I was almost in tears. Like they were having so much fun. Although that being said, like one of the kids, like it was like bedtime, because they came inside after a while. The place got dark, and like our right next door neighbor was just like, okay, he still wanted to hang because he's allowed to stay up later apparently. I'm like, it's 8:30 now. You know, we gotta get Erin ready for bed. Let's go.
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing. Yeah, we gotta get that going. Just a quick update.
Yeah, for sure.
I wish I could tell you that USO. This is.
Can't stand you.
Yeah, because I just got wicked out of boil. USO just bounced off VWAP. We're still in the same range. And in vain of not, I could have still been in this trade. whatever. It broke the trend line. That's the USO looked like it was breaking down. So I hang with the other two, but it's not going to give me a reason to be in AMD yet, right? Like if we're gonna sit inside with an inside range, you're now in the chop zone on AMD. Like I want to be looking long on this sucker, but the futures just stalled at VWAP. USO failed to break down through VWAP. That actually signals the other direction for me. So my eyes are squarely focused on silver here, SLV. Just gonna look for maybe like a baby curl here on SLV. It's not really a trend break more than anything else. If this could just lose VWAP, I need something under VWAP that makes a little more sense. What's SMCI saying? Ugh. Oh, that's a bad trail out on SMCI. Yeah. Yuck. I hate when you look back at trays. What are you gonna do? Like I had all these bids, and the market was just tanking all over itself, and I had my bids out, and I'm like, what am I doing? That's not really moving. Maybe Intel will be something here. Now we're really, yeah, USO's trying to bust to the upside. That doesn't look like a good short setup. Need something else here. You know what? Silver is looking like a better curl. I'm not seeing anything that's any better than this, so I'm gonna take a nibble here, as you're doing more than nibbling on that food, so I'm guessing you like it.
No, it's done. Yeah, I'm done. It's gone. We devoured it pretty quick.
Yeah, you didn't breathe. Joe did not breathe, so I don't want to hear anything bad about the chicken this time, because you basically just destroyed that. I'm just saying, because you finished up at the desk. What was it? Like
I still got to work out
so?
after. Yeah, I still got to work out after though, man. So that's why I didn't want to eat too much of this stuff, right? Not even the itis. It's just I don't want to be eating the grease pit of fried chicken. Right? We want to be able to.
It wasn't as good. It wasn't that.
It wasn't that greasy.
It wasn't.
It's all soaked into the. Yeah, I mean.
You said it's too oily. Yeah.
Well, fair.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah.
Come on.
Doesn't make it tasty.
Yeah, it does make it tasty.
It's not good for you.
It's definitely not. Like
definitely
I'm probably
not
gonna.
Good for you.
Chances of me cramping up on the run after work today they increased after eating that, and I didn't. That's not necessarily what I wanted. All right, guys. So USO is moving higher. We're struggling now. We're getting close to our break even, and we're gonna get out of this trade when we're supposed to, just in case there's another opportunity. We'll lock it in. We're just chipping a chair right now. We're just chipping away and putting ourselves in a good position to turn things back around. I think there's going to be a couple more opportunities, but first things first is we need USO to get out of our way as oil continues to climb and the NASDAQ is heading a little bit lower. So we only have a couple more pennies until we take that stop out. Yeah, and there it goes. All right, so yeah, I mean, we could have trailed out a little bit more. We had a nice amount of unrealized that we give back. Now it's starting to come back in. USO heading higher. Got to be prepared and look for another opportunity. A nice squeeze back in towards the volume-weighted average price. So let's wait for that next trade to fall into our lap, and we'll try to take it. We waited for the volume. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so we waited for the volume to come in. We take that scalp all the way to the top side, and then we get out break even when it starts to come back in. USO, once again, raging towards the high of the day, and then sure enough, we have a move from VWAP to the downside on TQs. All right, guys, we have a guest, special very much so, but definitely a friend of the show. I've got to have conversations with him. Steve Talman, analyst here, guys, from Trade the Pool.
Steve, it's been a wild day. It's been a wild week. We're back into earnings season. I feel like there's a million things we can cover. First off, how you doing, and what are you looking at today?
Hey guys, doing great. I'm enjoying the volatility. Today is actually my heavy streaming, no trading day, so it's fun to watch. Does make me wish I could get involved, but today I'm just watching. I heard you guys talking about oil. I'm really watching to see if that can get any traction out the upside. That's gonna kind of gauge how much of my bullets are used to the downside versus kind of waiting to look for some catches, some bounces here. So yeah, we can take this wherever you guys want to go. Well, what's on your plate today?
So the first thing I want to ask you about is probably maybe you haven't noticed, but there's a certain rental car company which has been it's been having some volatility recently. First question
is something about that. Yeah.
The first time this happened, I didn't get involved. So I don't know. Did you get involved in 2021? Did you trade Avis in 2021? Did you trade it here? I'm mad at myself because yesterday I said, why find the top on car, just like short the sympathy play, because like Hertz was already turning. So I'm like, I can just, it's one of those I can just sit in the day trade short. I can just short it off VWAP. And then if Hertz falls, if car falls apart, it'll probably go down. If car goes up, I at least have a fighting chance. So that's what I've been doing because I didn't really see much of any great opportunity. So what are your thoughts on this squeeze? And do you think it's, well, I mean, it's probably done.
Yeah, I would say it's probably done. It's pretty intense. So this is what I was talking about with my good buddy Josh Smith on the Trade the Pool streams during the week. We had some guys in there, Kevin and Michael, who were a little bit early on the short. I think that they held and they'd ended up doing phenomenally. So congrats there. But what me and Josh were watching was the sweep of this previous monthly high, all the way up at 543, 550-ish. There was no setup for me personally because, man, it squeezed so far beyond that. The only thing I could really say is once it lost that level to the downside, it was in for a tough time. So sorry, I'm trying to find that on a clear level here on a weekly. So this, there it is. All right, bear with me here. We'll mark it out. So there was a topping range, a distribution range, and it kind of occurred right over that level that we were watching, the 550. So if I was watching this a little bit closer yesterday, I would have noted that the velocity through this, once it lost this level, it shouldn't have had any kind of hope to recover. And you can see from there, just straight pain. I think that was the only setup. For me, it would have been just chaos shorting it up here unless you really got a good look. So, I mean, when you have this big of a move, you just have to catch a little piece of this. So that's how Josh played it, I believe. And Josh is currently still short. Wow, $200 now. So amazing move that I did not actually play myself.
It's a tough one to get. I mean, it's one of those, like, if you get it, it's going to be fantastic. No questions asked. But
it's a month maker. It's something that makes
it can be a year maker.
Right? Yeah, exactly. It can be a year maker. Yeah, I want to keep our conversation on car here for a second. Okay. Steve, you and I have had the privilege to talk a little bit about options. Have you looked at the chain and how insane some of the premiums are? I'm talking about like $32,000 per contract, and even north of that, it was insane. Tell us a little bit about what you thought about the options chain there, if you did have the chance to look at it.
Honestly, I did not have a chance to look at the chain. I've heard some wild tales, like you mentioned, just insane multiples there. For me, this is a setup that it's so outside of my comfort zone that the only way I could play it is with options to define the risk. But even then, I was just looking at it like maybe when it was at 500, 600 on the way up, and I was like, I can't touch this. It's left the station and I can't short it yet. And then I honestly just missed it. No, but I'd love to hear any kind of insights that maybe you could see this coming on the chain early, or anything that you could see?
I didn't see anything because the volume and open interest was so low. It was hard to tell. And the premiums, just due to the implied volatility, were just absolutely through the roof. I thought it was interesting. We were looking at some vertical spreads, as you mentioned, about just like risk being premium paid essentially on some of them. But if you were to construct a spread on that, somehow it was the skew was so much that you would have a negative return. So you had to just flat out buy some of these put options if you were looking to get involved. It wouldn't have been worth it to write them at all, calls that is. But yeah, some crazy stuff on the options chain. We actually have a couple of questions in the chat here. We're going to kick things off with Hercules Jack. Yeah, Hercules Jack wants to know what you think about ONDS.
I had a feeling he was going to mention ONDS. Shout out Hercules Jack. We go back. This is our favorite stock to trade, I think. Okay. It's up there for me. I know it's his favorite. This is a swing trade for me. I'm still in it. It's not cooperating perfectly, but I think it's still okay. So what I'm seeing on ONDS, it's a name that has very high short interest. It's in a kind of tough sector with the drones. It's hard because they aren't going up as much as they would as like oil or something on war news, because they still have a relatively high beta. They're still moving with the indices. So they're moving down with indices and not up on war news. Makes it a little tricky to play, but I do believe the fact that they're not moving down overall. This one's been trading sideways for quite a while. I think that the risk, I think that the play is still to the upside here. I think it's a back test of this downtrend line breakout. And for me, this is where I start getting really interested in adding to the position that we've been accumulating under 10, because we're starting to get a flip of these moving averages. I know it's a little bit of a messy chart, but I have a few systems on this. My trigger system, as well as just moving averages and clean downtrend lines. They're all coming together right under this equilibrium of the range at 1090. So for me, I think that we're back testing. You can put a stop under about 940, 950, I think should hold. and definitely 870. That's my stop because it's a longer term position.
Yeah.
But Hercules, I'm still riding. I think that there's a lot of room to the upside. It just might take a little bit of time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at some of the charting here from July of last year. You still have a 433% return, which is substantial. So it's where we're currently trading at. We have one more question from the chat here. Dave is asking us just your thoughts on Tesla, considering we had earnings last night, the capex as well too. Just break us down. Where do you think Tesla can go from here?
You know, this one's tough for me, and I'm having a little bit of a hard time reading it. And this often happens for me after I've caught the move down, and I'm kind of sitting there going, I don't know what to do anymore. So for me, it's a wait and see, and let me tell you why. So the big thing here was that the catch held this big uptrend line on the weekly. It held over the 50% fib, and it held over my, I think this is a monthly trigger, so very high time frame support there. For me, I took the short into that, and when I saw that strength, I should have flipped long. I didn't. At this point, it's a wait and see because I don't know if this is a failed breakout or a breakout back test. And much like ONDS, we're seeing this in a lot of charts in the market right now. So this is I always love charts that tell the story with one line. So I think that just this one downtrend line really tells the story. We popped it, and now we're retesting it right there. Between that and our uptrend line, I'm waiting for this apex to kind of show a direction, whether it pushes away from the apex or down through there. I think that either way, you're going to get a very nice trending move. The unfortunate thing is right now, so much is contingent on high-level macro stuff, how this conflict in Iran is going to play out over the next month, and particularly if the Strait of Hormuz is going to stay so much limited in the amount of traffic that's going through. So a lot of moving parts here, and I'm just going to keep it simple and stick to these major levels and major lines that I think a lot of traders are watching.
You know what? I think that's a great point because like last night we were talking about all the earnings, and it wasn't just Tesla. You had ServiceNow, which quite frankly, it wasn't really that bad of a report. You could say it was a good one, and they got smoked in the midst of this, what seemed like a software rally. And it would be very tempting, and I want to get your thoughts on this. It would be very tempting to see a host of these names pull back into higher lows. They're down all so much. The IGV literally bounced off the 50 period on the daily is the low today. It would be easy to say, well, this is supposed to be the bottom. We just jump right back in. Like my first thought is we probably need a few more earnings names to come through. Like we barely had anybody. What are your thoughts on how much you trust your technicals at such an early point in earnings season where it's not even just, like sure it is, it's about Iran, but we have a whole host and the majority of earnings to get through to give us a bit of direction. Does that play in as much as geopolitical or less, or doesn't matter at all? What are your thoughts?
Well, it's a great question, and there's no easy answer. So this is kind of how I approach it. I think you're bringing up a great point because first off, the sell-off did not start because of Iran. We were seeing a distribution in the range. I'll pull up SPY really quickly. We were seeing months of distribution in the messy chart, but in this top of the range here before we flushed out. And now we got to think, sorry, let's get off this chart. It's not showing us much. We got to think about where we're going from here. So I always resort to technicals unless there's something kind of looming that can really disrupt that. We mentioned what could disrupt it, but at the same time, on a higher time frame, technicals are still playing ball. So you mentioned seeing some higher lows on these IGV type names on earnings. I think that is really what we're looking for because a lot of people have not gotten a chance to get involved in a name like Microsoft on this lockout rally. So what would be really constructive for the market is if we digest the next kind of wave of geopolitical fear and stress, if that pushes us down and then good earnings stabilize us, and we generally make this kind of higher low on a lot of these stocks. So that's what I'd love to see. And one more thing I'll leave you with just on that same note is the IGV chart here. I was just flashing to it as you mentioned it, and it's coming right back in. It just dinged this major line, which is a big level of interest here at 89, and I'm seeing sellers. So it would not surprise me if we did see some continuation to the strength in the oil that we've seen in the past couple of days, and this kind of stalling out and today's weakness continue down a little more in the software as a service until we get those earnings that you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because I feel it's so easy for traders, especially in this. Look, we just saw it today with oil futures and what it did to the markets. It's so easy to get bogged down by what's happening. Well, I know as day traders, we do it because it's what's moving you intraday, and you can lose sight of the bigger picture. So I'm glad you reiterated that. Just before we get you out of here, is there anything that maybe we didn't cover you would like to talk about? Maybe you've got an idea for us out there. I know you like that ONDS. And then on top of that, there's a few asking specifically about your Discord and where they can reach you, and where they can find you and how they can get in touch.
Thanks so much. Absolutely. So let me see. I'm scrolling through my massive watch list here. So many plays have been working in both directions lately. So I'll give you a few. I'll give you guys one that if we do end up bullish, I think this one will do really well. Two, actually. And I'll give you one for the downside. So starting off, man, I just got to keep scrolling and scrolling. Starting off to the upside, we've been in this one for quite a while, but I think it has a ton of room. If we get a small pullback, I would love to see this name calm down, base out above these previous highs, above 189, 190, and keep on going. Sorry, here's my goofy little chart here. Sometimes a chart just needs to spell its name. We've been watching this pattern, this ARM pattern play out for quite a while. And I was saying, once it finishes the M, it's go time. This is a huge powder keg. The semis are not done. I'll take my drawings off here so you can see that this is just a massive monthly bear flag that's just breaking out. This trade is not done. We were in from 155, 157-ish, and I think that it's still a hold. So that's the one for the long continuation. We like ARM. We still like AMD as well. This one, massive push out of all-time highs here. So still a lot of strength in the semiconductor space. If we do see the market crash down, sorry, I got ONDS on the brain. That's actually not what I wanted to pull up. IonQ here is looking very compelling for a short, and I did kind of miss my entry today, it looks like, but maybe if we get a little bit of shaking and baking and a pop back to 45, I might take that as a short, because I think that it's rejecting this 200 and has a decent way to fall if they're going to take the air out of these kind of most risk on high beta flyers that were a little late to this rally. That's what I'm thinking here.
Well, I hit the bang because, full disclosure, ARM is a holding in my long term, and I've been playing that range. Like every time it dips to 100, buy back in, take 20% off when it gets into that 170 range, and then back and forth. And like this, of course, the last time you do that, you wish you still had that 20% on. But I do believe in that break. It's a very, very long breakout. But I love that IonQ look. A couple of ideas for the long side, and then of course IonQ to the south side. Appreciate you, look, Steve. We always appreciate you coming on. And before you get out of here, you probably don't get a chance to see everything that's in our chat, but there was one particular message that I didn't catch the name. I'd have to scroll back to find it. We had a viewer that said they love you and they appreciate how honest you are with all of your takes, and what you trade, what you don't trade, why you might not trade something, or why you stayed away from something. And I think, especially in this business, that's something you don't always see, which we appreciate. No. That's why we love having you on.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that so much. So thank you, shout outs. I might not be the best trader, but I'm learning and I will always be honest. And if you guys, you mentioned the Discord, if you guys want to know where to find me, you can look for my Discord. It's right in my Twitter bio at Steve Teilman, SteveTeilmann. And just letting you know, every time I go on here, I get an influx of people and they stop letting people in. It's a security thing. So message me, DM me, we will get you in, I promise. If it turns you away, that's it. We want you there, trust me. So thank you so much, guys.
Appreciate you. So that's Steve Teilman, everybody from Trade the Pool. Look forward to talking to you the next time. It's always a blast having him on. Absolutely. I wish I could tell you that I know everyone wants the markets to go up. Yeah. It's more fun when markets go up. I think we can all agree on that. Absolutely. But this USO busting bouncing off of VWAP. Yeah, it happened. It's not a crazy trend up, but it is a gentle trend up. I haven't did on SLV. I still haven't got we got to VWAP on SLV. Nothing is moving like it was before. So I guess we're just maybe having a little bit tighter of a range. Maybe I'll get some out here. We're at the quarter. I should be getting some out at the quarter. I just popped on the 49 big. Well, if you get filled instantly, it's probably better than you think. I also just got to insta-fill. I'm going to let this one hang and just keep an eye on USO. Nothing crazy going on. I'm still in Beyond Meat. That's not doing anything, so we can just chill out there. But yeah, just waited for something to curl, when we got that bounce on VWAP and USO. And if that doesn't break the uptrend, I'll probably hang on to this one and look for more opportunities. We're just about to enter Power Hour, and I heard we're going to the desk.
Yeah, you are going to the desk. I mean, you're already here, guys. Sorry, it's 3 p.m. It's almost Power Hour, and we're carrying on. Let's take a look here at USO. We've seen a couple different reports here, and I put it on the screen while we had Steve there. But President Trump going to be extending the U.S. ship waiver reportedly in order to ease oil and gas deliveries. The extension of the U.S. ship waiver could come as soon as Friday. Another pop here in USO. If I get more details, I'll keep you posted. But also, speaking of President Trump, he's going to be attending this healthcare affordability event as of 3 p.m. So it could be at any moment, though. Again, he's often late, so it might not happen until later. Either way, I would keep an eye on Regeneron, REGN, during this event. Now, this is obviously light on intraday trading, but it is a company that reportedly has struck a deal with the White House on drug pricing. So the chances of something around this company being announced, a little bit higher than normal. Keep an eye on REGN. Of course, no promises, just a report. But in the meantime, I think we have a segment here.
Yes, you're right, Adira. We do have a segment here. We're just going to take a look at small cap real quick. IWM currently in the green, up, I would say, almost 0.6. No, sorry, trading in the negative is 0.64%. Going to take a look at a couple individual tickers for today. GRPN Groupon Inc., the online marketplace where you can find local deals in your neighborhood, reporting earnings on the for its first quarter on May 7th. Currently, the stock is down 14.3% in the negatives. That is a huge dip from the open over here. Then we have BE, my favorite stock, currently doing good, up 3%. They are expecting their earnings next week, April 28th. Also want to take a look at YOU, that is Clear Secure Incorporated, American technology company that operates biometric travel document verification systems, currently down by 8%. And my final stock for the day for you is Selective Insurance Group's SIGI, up on the day almost 11%. Now, they reported earnings with an EPS of $1.69, which missed analyst expectations by 2.3%. But the company operating revenue has increased 6.4% from the year ago's quarter level. Sending it to you.
Yeah, I'm actually going to speak quickly. So I mentioned there's a spike in oil right at 3. There's also a spike in this KITT, Nauticus Robotics, one of those deep sea companies. That's because Axios is reporting that Iran is deploying more mines in the Strait of Hormuz. So KITT to the upside, USO at one point spiking to the upside. Guys, there's a lot of headlines. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of uncertainty. But you know what you can be sure of? That we will do our very best to get you every single headline and give you the best idea of what is happening in this whirlwind market with all of these headlines. Sometimes it's not just one individual headline, it's a whole glut of news, but that's why we are here for you every single day the market's open. So don't miss it. And with this little plug and ad aside, we're going to send you back over to Neil Roberts.
Okay, be honest, everybody. When Kit, the stock, was brought up, how many of you played the Knight Rider theme in your head? Because I know I did. Oh, you like Knight Rider?
I don't know the theme, but I think we've brought this up before. I actually know Knight Rider because my dad named his Chevy Cobalt Kit because he was obsessed with the show in the 80s.
So Dara's dad actually visited the studio. Good people. Good dude. Yes, and a very proud dad, which he should be, but a cool dude. And anybody that likes Knight Rider is in my good books, for sure. But we are getting, it's still on trend, but we are getting a small pullback. This isn't really long enough to really consider it a trend, but I'm just drawing it for effect. But we're getting a slight pullback here in USO. Nothing to really take the edge off. You're still seeing the Q's I'm gonna hold on to silver because I see the Q's still falling. Again, it just really comes down to if something changes, then I will decide to go in a different direction. I really thought, I'm glad it didn't go long on Intel. Not that it didn't really flash a long signal at VWAP. There wouldn't have been a reason, but I'm glad I didn't. It just seemed like it was relatively strong at one point, but now they're starting to sell it off. It is interesting. I know Joe was talking about this. Sometimes when you have a name reporting right after the bell, there can be a sign. I feel like yesterday, that all-day sell in Tesla, it's almost like it set a trap. It was all selling for the last, gentle selling for the past 2 days going to earnings. Then it was blast off and then a complete trap zone that reversed. And I I have a weird feeling about Intel. Like, I'm not gonna trust it if the initial move is up and testing 70. I'm just not trusting it. The stakes are pretty high here. What is working in their favor is that they're rounding back into profitability. So it's one of those spots where you have the valuation that's kind of nonsensical, not just because of the price, but they just went back into getting profitable. So you can see some rapid improvement. If they're able to pull that off, it could go well for them. Doesn't it feel like they're priced to perfection at this point? Like, they're getting a lot of pull forward for some things that are going to happen in the distant future. And the stock has gone from $19 to 70 on that, when, like, fundamentally you haven't really seen that as big of a turnaround. Just saying, like, it is a weird one. So I'm not falling for an initial move on INTC. Yeah, these other names are. This Hertz is not doing anything. Beyond Meat's not doing anything. I feel like it's going to be SLV. I don't really see anything going crazy in Intel, except for maybe I should have been shorting this. And join the short. Maybe you should have been a VWAP short. Mm-hmm. You can't trade everything.
No.
And I don't want to enter until. And I hate to bring up oil over and over again. It's not the only thing in the world. But I don't want to enter a short when this is pulling back off the highs. Like, I want to enter when it's off of a support level. Like, if it bounces off VWAP, that's a good time to enter into short. Like, the silver trade was when this bounced off VWAP and broke up. So I'm thinking the same thing. Otherwise, just hold it and go. Let us know what you guys are watching. What's crazy is we didn't even look at the visualizer today. Ooh. And I'm not surprised by the top 3 names on this list. This is about as chalk as you're ever going to see. Avis, Tesla, and Skills. I think we could all agree. Palantir, there you go. Robinhood, QuantumScape, AIXI, that's that $1 one. Netflix is not flat. There must be something wrong here. I don't know why it's showing Netflix with a 0 price. Whatever, sometimes that happens. SMR, NVIDIA. NVIDIA is something that we have not paid enough attention to today. When was the last time we went all day long without looking at NVIDIA? Probably because we don't want to look at it.
Yeah, it's just not in play right now, man.
Well, it's down 2 points.
Yeah, down 2%.
The market, NASDAQ's only down 0.7. It's down 2%. And we did not get to the all-time high. That's a
Tesla's
really
down
bad
3.5%.
But Tesla reported, like that makes sense to me.
That makes more sense,
That makes
right?
way more sense.
Like, how is NVDA going off of essentially what AMD is doing, right?
Because AMD's on crack.
It's on one right now, having a rotation.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Okay, I want to pull something up. I want to do this here.
It's a line from a show. Drugs are bad, people.
What is it? What show is that from? I know. Your boy Michael Irving had a little bit of. It's a Pell show, yeah. Your boy.
It's the Rick James.
Yeah, your boy Mike Irving had a little bit of issue with that, right?
My boy.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, I'm as far from a Cowboy fan as you will ever find in this planet. There's no self-respecting Buffalo Bills fan who is a Cowboys fan. Sharif is a Dallas Cowboys fan. I'm a Bills fan, therefore I am contractually obligated to not be a fan of the Cowboys. I love the city of Dallas. I've been a few times, taken my family there, been to Fort Worth to see the rodeo, but I'm certainly not going to cheer for the Dallas Cowboys or anybody that puts on that. There's some players that I've liked, that I have a lot of respect for, but I just don't want to cheer for them. Let's go to the desk.
You showed it to the Dallas Cowboys cheerleader show on Netflix. Honestly, really good, highly recommend. Let's talk here about JOBY. This one on watch here, Joby, not when Joe and Obi are together on the show, but Joby Aviation. This is going to be in focus here. They're teasing a potential launch in NYC, posting a couple minutes ago on X. Keep an eye on the sky this week, NYC. Finger up emoji, 2 eyes emoji. So it looks like JOBY could be flying over to New York sometime soon. Back to you.
I wanted us to take a look here, and I want to see what you guys think. So essentially, we have Samsung in the $1 trillion club, Berkshire. Okay, so we have 13 stocks now that are in this exclusive club, $1 trillion. Samsung being one of them.
Barely.
But it's in, right? It's met the requirements. Berkshire, Walmart, as of recently, hopping in the $1 trillion club. Absolutely insane. Yeah, we love it. Obviously, Saudi Aramco. Now, are we going to go in order from potentially JP Morgan, Eli Lilly, and maybe we'll throw Exxon out of there. But do you think that AMD, sitting in 24th spot from a market capitalization standpoint, can really start to climb the ranks with the run that it's on and then be one of the next names to join the $1 trillion club?
Okay, how about we try to come up with 4 or 5 that we think are worthy of putting on the. Eli Lilly got it and lost it, so I don't know if we want to count them.
Does that count?
That's low-hanging fruit. I feel like that'd be too easy of a pick because they're on a pullback. JP Morgan is a very lazy case.
Yeah.
JP's going to get there. As long as the market continues to appreciate, JP Morgan will eventually get there. It says, again, that's another lazy one. The interesting names, you mentioned AMD. I think Micron is a much more interesting name.
It's ahead.
There as well. I'm not saying it's ahead, but it's certainly an interesting. Look, Micron or AMD, Oracle with the chance to get back.
Oracle, Oracle's a chance to get back, exactly, or just below it. Adara thinks no, but I was thinking, hey.
Oracle still has fundamental issues. Like, this is the biggest thing with Oracle that I think people are like, oh, the stock's coming back up. Like, my entire short thesis on Oracle was and has always been on a fundamental basis, which is why, honestly, Oracle bouncing, couldn't care less. Because they still have a lot of, like, I've called them RPO Oracle lately. They are all RPO and very little actual, meat to back it up, to put on the bone here. I think that, like, they're just a couple more bad headlines away from there being, short reports and more further issues, more analyst downgrades. Keep in mind, in addition to all of their other business issues, they apparently, went 700% over budget on the Pentagon contract and then went 7 years longer than expected. Then Pete Hegseth had to cancel it 7 years later because it was, one of the biggest wastes of taxpayer money he had ever seen. They're going to be auditing that, too. There's just way too many headlines with this. Never mind, even that cancellation of SMCI, that $1.4 billion order, still is kind of bad for Oracle because it's like, if you have so much RPO, why'd you need to cancel this order? I'm going to stop my rant. I know everybody's like, oh, Dara rants about Oracle every day. But yeah, I think with this one, any recovery in this, technical, that's fine. The fundamentals are still going to be a massive problem.
So we're not putting Oracle in the.
We're not putting Oracle clearly.
Okay, so clearly
what we just got there.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna put who will be the next. It's a great question. It's a fun one. So we settle on AMD. I'm not gonna put Oracle because I don't. You don't go against it.
But we have to take into consideration AMD has to double from where it is right now in order to get there.
Okay, but here's what it comes down to. Are we going to put things like JP Morgan? I feel like they're too close. It's too close, too boring.
Okay.
So we've settled on. We have AMD. We've got Micron. Who else?
Maybe I think MasterCard, and then let's put Netflix.
MasterCard.
Or Costco.
What the?
Costco, right? Because if we're looking in the. Hey man, it is what it is. It's sitting in this 25th spot.
Hey, who typed GM? First of all, I didn't type that.
Fabian. It's Fabian always messes.
Okay, we're all on the same. Okay, we're on the same web. Yeah. It's internal here, so he just tried to type in GameStop. So we're gonna go with who are we adding?
Costco, because we have the two top staple names being Walmart, Costco, right?
Reasonable.
And then Netflix, with its intentions, I think this split is a part of their goal. We heard the dual CEO say that they want to be the next $1 trillion company.
Okay, how about this?
Yeah,
that's for. I want some crazy outlier.
I like a crazy
Scroll down. What's a crazy outlier?
What's something that's going to be a sleeper?
Well, it's got to be much further down. Something much more interesting. Palantir, maybe?
No, that's a good one. That's a good one.
PLTR? Is that okay? Let's go.
That's fair.
Okay, so here we go. We have 5. Yeah. We got 5 names right now. We've got who will be the next $1 trillion company. Apologies to Eli Lilly and JP Morgan, some more obvious ones because one's guaranteed almost, and the other one's already been there. We'll go AMD is 1, Micron 2, Costco 3, Netflix, it just started the voting now. Netflix is 4, Palantir is 5. So all you got to do is type in the chat right now. I'm thinking about it. Oh, it's a slap in the face.
Is it?
It's a massive slap in the face for myself because I sold the bulk of my AMD at the recent at the 250 high. It is what it is. Went down to $200. I considered it a dip buy, and I didn't do it, and I pulled the trigger on NVIDIA instead. So it'll be a slap in the face to me, but I type a 1. So a lot of it, 40% already. There's 5 names in the poll. It's 40% AMD, only 20 on Micron. No believers in Costco. Oh, it's 10%. It's not that bad. And then Palantir, kind of in the middle here with Micron, but it is overwhelmingly AMD.
Yeah. Netflix with the least amount of votes. All right, I mean, we know that they... I feel like we're...
That's surprising?
Are we 100% counting? Because there's a lot of people putting in the chat here. I know people double vote, but I think...
Nobody... first of all,
coding.
We've told you guys, stop double voting. Stop spamming the ones.
Stop double voting.
Who's doing... What are you talking about?
That's crazy, man.
I'm not doing anything.
Neil, I can literally see your finger spamming on the camera.
We said no spamming, Sia.
No way. Where's your evidence?
What are you talking about? Yeah, where's the evidence?
Where's your proof? I could have been typing anything, Sia.
Someone made a very good point because we talked about the private market before and some of the valuations of these names. We should have thought outside the box a little bit more, Neil. Now I'm kicking myself. Ooh. We could have put SpaceX or Anthropic on there.
Oh, come on. We got to put something. Well, okay, that's
fair, no?
No, they're IPOing this year. We could have.
Right.
I'm not changing the poll. I've already made my vote.
Trump is live. Thanks, Ramin.
And we're getting a bit of a, just so you know, we're getting a, well, okay, go ahead, Adair. Fight.
Yeah, sorry, my stream was lagging a bit there. I did just see the headlines. I was about to let you guys know. Trump confirming, as we suspected, Regeneron with a White House deal. They've consented to provide medications at the lowest available international rates. Now, there are a lot of issues. Actually, there's a whole hearing about it yesterday as to whether or not the rates provided by Trump RX are actually the lowest rates. But either way here, Regeneron, I guess, agreeing to this drug deal. Keep an eye on REGN. It's not reacting too much, but again, not a stock that gets a lot of intraday action.
Yeah, and the poll sits, it's still seeing exactly where it was at 40%. I feel like when we get closer to those IPOs, maybe we'll talk about it again. I think it's fair to exclude them today. Regeneron did not really move on that. That being said, you are seeing, oh, that's right, I got the crazy wick on the Qs from yesterday. You are seeing a bit of a bounce in the Qs, and that is because USO is pulling back in. So I'm going to take that. Like effectively that small, almost non-existent trend that I was talking about from VWAP, that is broken a bit. So I'm just gonna tighten this up on SLV. Like you get what you can get. And one of the things we were just talking, like Joe and I were saying, is like you're at the mercy at all times it feels in this market to the next spike. Like you're sitting there and you don't know when the next news is gonna come in. So at all times I kind of want to be tightening stops and trying to react in the afternoon if I can. Let's go back up to the desk.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick look at the board here. SPY currently trading flat. Software names, as we know, it did crash a little bit after ServiceNow's earnings report, with that PLTR trading in the negative 7%. Oracle in the down 6%. Meta down 2.44%. Microsoft also in the red, almost 4%. TXN, however, in electric tech with its great earnings report today, up 17%, 17.4%. Revenue for the quarter has reached $4.8 billion, exceeding expectations of $4.5 billion, representing a 19% increase year over year. AXP in finance, American Express also reported as of this morning, beating analyst expectations on EPS off to $4.28 versus $4.03 expected, and revenue of $18.9 billion, increase of 11% year over year. Now, INTC earnings, as you know, we have it post-market today. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us. Adara will give you the full rundown. That's it for you all.
Yeah, I mean, there it is. I got it. I have a post here. Iran Supreme Leader in post on X warns public of enemy media campaign targeting unity between, obviously, the two states there.
And they don't mean unity.
Yeah, they don't mean,
Although that's the song, not even the stock. No, it's
the software that we use. No, but aside from that, guys, like that's it. So, I mean, we tried to claw back here. We got caught in that volatility spike to the downside. So no more attempts on my behalf here. We'll take it for what it is, and we'll come back tomorrow and we'll be prepared to perform a little bit better. We'll rock and roll. We'll keep... When you have something like this, and I said this on multiple occasions, right? Just like rock and roll, ride with this. That's all you need. You don't need to get involved in some of this volatility, even though it is attractive, but it can definitely cost you your day. And that's what happened here. So full disclosure, it is what it is. We'll be patient, and we're prepared to come back and rock and roll tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised. It's Friday. Some more headlines going to hit before the weekend. Before we roll into the weekend, there's plenty of going on here today. We have... Intel after the bell, right? So make sure you guys stick with us there. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. We've been rocking and rolling. I messaged Sean. You guys heard my message to Sean, asked for his flight, but nonetheless, I'll be sitting in the desk. Thank you all for the kind words. If he has the ability to make it, then if not, then we're prepared to do whatever we have to do.
Get the work done. I mean, Joe's been putting in work all week, so we're happy to see him continue to do it. And you know what? Got to take that time off, send that vacation. I won't lie.
Like fun, man. He pushed that flight back.
Whenever, look, man. When I take my week-long trips, I'm pretty sure I always take I book the extra day too.
Yeah, you book the extra day.
It's like when I'm going to London, I'm pretty sure I'm coming back on the Tuesday. We get back, On the
Actually,
you
that
know
extra
what?
day.
Oh no, we are coming back on a Monday, so I'm not taking an extra day the next time.
Okay.
But it is what it is. Just one quick note: I did trail out of SLV. Just don't want to. You saw the market pop back up here. Saw that little turn. You know, you get what you can get, and try not to be upset. I like to say. So we're going to look for the next opportunity. If it ends up being another scalp trade, is what it is. Let's go back up to the desk. I believe I heard it's Adara.
President Trump right now announcing that Regeneron has been getting FDA approval for one of its treatments for, I guess, a condition that causes hearing loss. So REGN, another, this is part of the report we already knew. We knew they were going to be, getting this President Trump announcement here at the White House with the drug pricing deal, and also they were going to get FDA approval. Looks like, again, President Trump announcing the FDA approval for this hearing loss treatment from REGN. Back to you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so here's the thing. Thomas Johnson just asked for the He-Man button. We don't get a lot of requests for this key. So because you asked, I'm going to hit it.
Rare.
I think this one's a little bit too long. Just saying. I will also say this. I generally am of the kind of person that will throw my money at whatever remake for nostalgia reasons from my childhood. I'll probably pay money and watch it.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be the case with this one.
No, it doesn't look very good. No.
It's got Idris Elba. It's got a pretty decent cast. But I saw that trailer. Like, if there hadn't been a trailer, I'd be all over it. You couldn't stop me from watching it because it's He-Man. I grew up on that stuff.
Okay.
But now that I've seen the trailer, I don't know, man. The Mortal Kombat looks legit.
No, it
the
doesn't look that good,
So, no,
man.
Street Fighter.
Yeah,
Street Fighter
yeah.
looks pretty good. But I don't know, man.
Looks
Oh,
a
so,
little low budget.
Assassino's like, yeah, why do you think this? It's not that it's low budget. The dude that plays He-Man, he's not like jacked enough. I feel like you can't take yourself too seriously if you're doing that movie.
Yeah.
Like it needed someone more along the lines of like a Cena. Like it just it can't take itself too seriously. It's not gonna work if you take it's Masters of the Universe. I don't want it to try to be serious. I'm just saying.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut off the He-Man animation there, or the He-Man animation, but I do want to say, like, as someone who's seen that guy, Nicholas Galitzine, in a couple movies, who's playing He-Man, he's a good actor, but yeah, like, I don't think maybe the right choice for kind of a fun, like, schlocky blockbuster movie, maybe not. Like, again, good actor, not, like, I've been following his career for probably like 10 years now, not sure if he's the best for this.
I don't even know the actor. Like, I'm not commenting on him at all. I just think it's like, it looks like it's trying to take itself a little seriously. What are we doing here? Make it He-Man. Like, make it a joke and have fun with it, so we can all just have a little nostalgia moment, laugh here and there, and blow some stuff up every now and then. But
I don't like what they did with the Mortal Kombat movies. I think it should be more like violent, to be honest with you. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's the difference between Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Like I can deal with Street Fighter can do what they want. They're the lighter one. Mortal Kombat is supposed to be
Like,
don't make
yeah,
that,
R,
it doesn't
like
need to be
rated
PG.
R.
It should be rated R. That was the whole point of Mortal Kombat.
It has to be.
That's the whole point. This
got
market's
going
not doing much.
No, it's not doing anything. I mean, we had the headline step in. I mean, and there it is, right? Like USO screaming to the top side. We had that clean flush in the market. SMR we have up there on our chart, but finding this bottom wasn't that easy. It cost, and then sure enough, you have a day where you're just grinding, and then eventually you're consolidating, and you clean through the volume-weighted average price, and then you bounce up here in USO. So that inverse correlation coming into full effect once again. And I think that's going to be the narrative for the rest of the week. I mean, yesterday was a little bit more quiet, but then Wednesday was definitely let's get ready to rumble on that front. And you had multiple headlines. They're going back and forth in between. The fact is like, okay, the blockade is going to be closed. No, it's not. It's opening. We're gonna be limiting on our renegotiation tactics. And sure enough, this is the result that you see. USO is not far off of the all-time highs, right? Like, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we get somewhat of a gap up, some headlines this evening. We're down 5% roughly, right, from that peak. I didn't think we would get this recovery, but I'm going to be keeping an eye on it. As long as this conflict, like we're talking about cars, the ultimate short, I'm not going to say that USO is, but we will see some form of a revert to the mean in US. So at some point, you have to be patient. It's been on a monster run. And I believe, who said it, Adair? JD Vance, that oil prices and gas prices could be lower at the end of this conflict than it was ever before?
Yeah, so that was Besant. So I kind of have a mental Rolodex of who said what. So Besant was the most confident. He said they could be lower than they've ever been, even before the war. Not ever, but like they could be lower than they were right before February 28th. Then you had Chris Wright, Energy Secretary. This is the same guy that posted that literally fake image of the Strait being opened like way back in mid-March. Anyway, so he said that he's not quite sure we can get oil back to under $3 a gallon, I believe was the price, before the end of the year. So he has like really, really negative thoughts. But then Trump said he thinks once the conflict ends, we'll be able to get prices stable, though again, not maybe as optimistic as our friend Besant, who literally thinks that they can be lower than they were before February 28th. So yeah.
Yeah, who knows? What happens if you get that, like the Straits open, you have that surplus after a couple of weeks or a month or so of just nice, consistent flow through the Strait? Who knows? Anything can happen, right? I highly doubt that's going to be the case, but we'll go with what Besant has, Scotty has to say.
It's so bizarre to me because the amount that's been lost in terms of how much, 13 billion is way too many barrels a day. And if you look at this, like, it's not just the oil, it's all the petrochemical products as well. And then you have all of these companies that have been affected by this, and it's going to affect their next 2 quarters. It almost, like, yes, it's nice if it opens right back up, but trust me when I tell you, you're going to see this in earnings for the next 2 quarters, regardless.
Yeah.
And it's a question of whether it'll be 3 or whether it'll be 4. Like, it could end tomorrow. This is still, you're going to still be hearing about this in Q3 earnings, even if it ends tomorrow. But again, that's just economics, and but that's not the market.
No.
Remember, like that doesn't necessarily mean the market. It could really hurt the consumer, and that could hurt the economy. That doesn't necessarily mean the market hasn't made the bottom on all of this. And those are 2 different things, and you got to keep that in perspective.
And like, think about the lingering effect of, like, I get it, it's a long time ago, but how long after COVID and everything opened back open were we talking about all the essentially the effect that it had on some of the earnings reports in certain companies for an extended period of time, right? Exactly. It was like up until last year, I'm pretty sure some companies were still complaining early last year, that is, about like the effects of COVID.
Well, that's a bit much. Right. If you still complaining in 2026 or 2025.
Then there's more, you have bigger issues.
No, but they definitely were. And we already heard Nike was complaining. And well, even last night, ServiceNow was also even talking about the effects here. So we're going to hear a heck of a lot more. But we have a super chat. We're going to go back to the desk, come back. But I see the super chat. We'll get to it.
US dollar DXY holding near the $99 range after gains, all thanks to the safe haven flows from escalating tensions in the Middle East, as we keep hearing every few minutes. This offsets fading Fed rate cuts bets with the USD against major firms like EUR and JPY. But I also want to take a look at the Japanese yen, trading near 159 today, extending gains amidst the escalations as usual. The yen is also weakening despite BOJ's warnings of potential FX intervention after the oil price has been surging from regional conflicts. And despite the dollar surges on geopolitical tension, stocks are hitting records, and shrugging off around war risks, with Australian dollar and the New Zealand dollar gaining on a brief risk on turns from ceasefire hopes. Upcoming US NFP data could also sway the GBP USD near the $1.33 region. Sending it back to you.
Thank you, Sia. And of course, this goes to VWAP and pulls back. Like I'm saying, I don't want to overtrade. I think I'd be getting too cute to jump back into that.
In SLV?
There's nothing, like USO hasn't made that next move. Like if there's a really big difference between this coming into, like USO coming into VWAP and bouncing big and then looking for a short at that moment and trying to look for something when nothing is happening. So I'm going to pull up the imbalance. It's also 328. So we got CCL on the locator, 1.7. It's not huge for CCL, but travel name, they're in play when oil's moving. So it's probably the one I'll be watching at this moment. FXI. So you have the Chinese tech ETF there. Pretty much it. Cleveland Cliffs is in there. FCX is in there. They reported this morning 500,000. But I'd say CCL, at least for now, would be the earliest worth watching. And you see what happens when oil decides to want to move around a bit, right? Like CCL just tanked. And it's a buy imbalance in a day where it got absolutely woodshedded. But we did have this from on the rail. Gas prices won't be down like that for a year. That's the thing, man. Even if we went to 80, that's still high.
Yeah.
You think Chevron, you know what Chevron thinks about 80? Chilling.
Yeah.
Chilling. Do you know what XOM thinks about?
Chilling.
And if they're chilling, then usually we're not very happy on a broad sense.
Maybe we should have put Oxy in that list.
Oh, true, as well.
On the $1 trillion list.
Dave with a $10 super chat just to say Sonya Blade. Okay.
Sonya Blade.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's one of your favorite characters. Possibly.
Who's that? From Street Fighter?
Did you just ask who Sonya Blade is?
Yeah.
Cancelled. Let's go to Adara. Cancelled, Joe.
Just keep an eye here.
Blade was.
Okay, I figured. I was just like, oh, hello. Let's take a look at COIN, because COIN might maybe need the fail button. No, all jokes aside, they just said that certain logged-in users might presently be unable to finish their transactions if they're using Coinbase on-ramp. Now, if they're using guest checkout via interface in Apple and Google Pay systems, they're going to be unaffected. I bring this up less because the stock is moving, but more because in case you're using Coinbase, just be aware. I guess they're having an issue right now with their on-ramp. So maybe stock news, but also definitely possibly news if you are someone who trades using the Coinbase system. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Adara. Hello, Coinbase. You don't know Sonya Blade?
No. Is it Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter? All right. Listen, I was using if it's Mortal Kombat. If it's Mortal Kombat, yeah, exactly. Dude, all I was using.
No, I'm just playing, man.
Dude, Joe go home says.
Well, that's kind of harsh.
Yeah, no, hey, I feel it. No, dude, all I used was Scorpio and Sub-Zero. That was it.
Okay, for real, I was a Sub-Zero guy.
Yeah, Sub-Zero, obviously the best.
Knew who the other characters were.
Yeah, I know a lot of the characters.
Yeah, we just playing, man.
Sonya. Shane, yeah, it's all right, man. We'll get past it. We'll move on to the next conversation, and we'll figure something else maybe that I don't know about in regards to video games. Listen, hey, man.
You know, that's one of my favorite. I wasn't you ever seen the Michael Jordan, what the heck was that documentary thing called with Michael Jordan and the Bulls?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
The best part of that whole thing is when he's playing quarters with the security guard. Yeah, it's just hands down, that's the funniest thing. We just gambled. The dude's just gambling on it, and then the security guard beats him and pops him in his own celebration.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you, that is the Last Dance. That's the most gangster thing you could do. Yeah. A man is famous, maybe the most famous athlete of all time. That's arguable. I'd say maybe Muhammad Ali or Tiger Woods or Messi. Yeah. There's a bunch of others out there. But arguably, and then you beat him, just regular security guard, and then pop his celly on him and caught on camera. That dude's a legend. Key and Peele crushed him though because it was Key and Peele. They did him wrong. They did a skit on that, and they owned that dude. And he won.
Yeah, I would definitely say there goes the market back towards the upside, right?
I'm waiting for the curl.
Yeah, the NASDAQ is climbing now. I don't know if we even get that today, Neil, because USO moving lower, and I mean we have a half an hour left, so TQ is now punching back higher. Maybe it heads in towards the volume-weighted average price. I've seen some slight upticks here, and then we had USO slightly start to come in. So I mean there it goes, continuing to climb, a big recovery. Nice reversal right here. I wanted to get this trade off of the lows. And sure enough, we would have been rocking and rolling. But that's not necessarily the case. That's okay. We'll figure it out, and we'll come back in. We'll come back stronger and better than ever. So nonetheless, Tesla not doing too much today. Going to be curious how that's going to be reacting tomorrow. I think we'll find somewhat of a recovery. But all eyes on INTC after the bell. All right. Lippu. I think this might be his fourth quarter, so a full year maybe at this point for Lippu, turning things around. Obviously, the 10% stake via the government is helping this name quite a bit. Now you have the Terafab potential deal between Tesla and INTC. What was it? What were they going to using it? The A14 or something along those lines? Yeah, the A14. So, I mean, there it is. Intel, a name that has been dead for so long, finally starting to rise.
It's such a big deal for them to have landed a potential customer. Like everyone was sort of like, okay, well, if you're telling us that the fab business is not going to be doing anything for the bottom line for at least 2 or 3 years, well, at least you could show us that you've got some kind of a hyperscaler or at least one of the big boys.
Exactly.
And Tesla qualified. Now, everybody thought it would be more serious note from NVIDIA. NVIDIA did make the investment, but Tesla jumping on board, it's huge. It's absolutely huge for them. No question about it. It doesn't necessarily mean that the stock hasn't gone a little bit too far, though. That's the other thing. You can't tell me that these guys are going to have it easy tonight on Intel. Like, this has been an absolute rocket from the lows. You talk about being pretty extended going into the earnings print and with a lot to prove. That's about it for sure. Shaggy just said, can you hit the dollar club 165 times for my last share of car? Okay, so that's a lot.
said that, Shaggy.
How about we do this one?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I feel like if I hit anything on the stream deck 165 times, I have questions. My questions have questions if I do that. You are now down, not from the highs, you're down today 50%. Just today.
See you later.
It's giving it all back.
On.
It's giving it all back.
I don't know if you get that back.
Over.
It's done. Yeah, it's
over. I also don't have. Do I even have the dollar club? I don't think I.
And there goes the market back towards the.
I probably don't even have that one. I have 3 pages, and that one I don't have. There it is. Okay, so Assassino, 164 more times.
Yeah.
We got 25 minutes until. No, just kidding.
Have a conversation.
That would be absolutely silly if we did. Just saying. 106. And now, of course, we get that spike.
In US.
Remember when it was like it would be getting cute to just short VWAP on silver? Yeah. Apparently, it wouldn't be getting cute.
Wow.
But you know what? Okay, we're really heading down. USO with a bit of a bounce. Slight bounce. Decent bounce. Right back into the afternoon. Well, I'll call it the afternoon highs. You know what I mean by that? Like, since we came on, these would be fresh highs about 135. But if it doesn't bust through, anything you are in, you're going to want to cover. This is not moving anymore. Hertz is just no longer moving. So I'm going to just get on the bid. This is done falling. I think the mistake was not being, I should have been in this earlier. I even said that. I said this yesterday. Like, that would have been the thing to just hold on to literally every single day. Because, and the only reason I say that is cars started falling yesterday. This started falling 2 days ago. And so it was a mistake not being, like, it was lower hanging fruit yesterday. And again, it was sort of low hanging fruit here. I'm also pretty done with, for the day, Beyond Meat. I think this one's got more room to go. It only lost $1 today. I think it's got more room. I just don't know if it's going to do it today. Maybe tomorrow, if it's still failing under $1, I take a second shot at this to get like the bigger follow through down to like 80 to 85 cents. But for now, you take what you can get. We just saw Bijo with a super chat buying SOUN and sell pre-market open makes sense. Oh, you're asking. It's not our business to give financial advice. And truth be told, we're day traders who do not hold overnight. I do some swing trading in my personal account. SOUN, for me, when I'm looking at the technicals on things like this, I'm a fan of you make the break of downtrend on a weak stock, you put a higher low in, you hold the 50-period moving average. However, whenever I trade based on a major moving average like that, it's the major moving average that has to break. So like you're just like, I don't know, that seems like a overnight gamble hold, which do you if you have a good reason for doing it. I like consolidations over the 50 period. I'm a fan. I like those. But to me, it requires a stop at an actual level. I'm not really into that hold. I'm just going to sell it at the open regardless of what happens, or it's just weird because you're just hoping for a gap up there. And it's not saying that it can't. Like, there's a support level down here that it easily could bounce off of, like you can see. But yeah, what's the reason? Like, the rest of this looks bearish. Like, you've got a head and shoulders pattern with a flat bottom break. Like, this is exactly the kind of name that day traders would look at and say, I want to be short this tomorrow if it loses that 760. Like, that's what the chart says. So yeah, I'm not really into that whole automatically, you just buy it and hope that it gaps up kind of deal.
Yeah. I don't know if anything stepped back into the market, but we did see somewhat of a volatility spike. Nothing substantial. And yeah, there it is, right? So USO uptick, downtick there on the NASDAQ now starting to recover. Adara, talk to us.
So this isn't like a new headline. I saw this about an hour ago, but it's being recirculated a lot, so I'll bring it back up again because I didn't mention it in the first place. I didn't want to distract anybody. This headline is relatively minor on its face, but the implications are maybe a bit larger here. So Wall Street Journal reporting that due to the Iran conflict, the U.S. might actually impact or have its contingency plans for Taiwan impacted. So long story short, again, Wall Street Journal reporting that the U.S. used so many munitions in Iran that administration officials are, quote, increasingly assessing here if the U.S. could even defend Taiwan if China does go into Taiwan. So this is more geopolitical than anything else, and I do apologize for getting into geopolitics here, but I do think it's relevant. TSM didn't do anything on this, which is the main reason I didn't bring it up earlier. But again, now some concerns here is reported by the Wall Street Journal that due to the conflict in Iran, the U.S. might not really be able to adequately defend Taiwan should an unfortunate situation with China arise.
I think they would be. I think it's just a matter of time. You just flip every factory into essentially munitions one, and then sure enough, you just produce that stuff hand over fist.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet against the U.S. in that particular case to be able to produce.
Yeah,
but the other thing about the conflict is, remember, it's that silicon shield.
Yeah.
It's the silicon shield.
Yeah,
all the advanced chips get made in Taiwan, at least the overwhelming majority of them.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the U.S.
is not going to want to let that be under Chinese control. That's true regardless of who's in power. I think that's a bipartisan kind of deal because it's too critically important, for sure.
Like we talk about defense plays. Yeah, is there like a munitions play, like anything along those lines? Like, is there a munitions stock or anything along those lines?
Always gets. Great question, because I know the traditional defensive names that I like. I think right now you want I love, this is going to be self-serving because I'm going to tell you that one of the names I like is AVAV because I think the drone technology is the biggest deal. Drone defense and drone offense is such a huge deal. But then I'll be self-serving in that stock. Headline, the upcoming session of Israel-Lebanon negotiations will be held at the White House, according to officials.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know about. Hey, anyways, maybe possibly anything can happen. Nonetheless, yeah.
Anything? Well, that's definitely true. Anything can happen.
Yeah. Do you think why would they come? I guess just to be on American soil, but why would both of them come here when you could just have one of the leaders like JD or somebody go over there? Is JD still going to Pakistan or what? Or is he there?
Uh-oh, skills.
Anyways, guns. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, guys, just be cautious of what's going on.
Get it,
obviously.
skills.
I mean, at the end of the day, we have the Raytheons, obviously.
Yeah, that's
Northrop.
They're a good standard.
Yeah, exactly. So
I feel like Northrop has been disappointing to an extent.
What is the ticker for Northrop?
NOC.
Yeah, Northrop Grumman. To the downside.
It's been incredibly disappointing.
Wow.
I mean, it's just
23%.
It's been a shockingly disappointing stock.
Big time.
Shocking.
I mean, it went on the run at the beginning of this, but then after, it's just like, oh, flush. So could this be a good potential dip buy?
I don't know, man.
I think so.
I'd want to understand more about why it's. Well, look, the one I'm looking to buy, and I already said I'm being self-serving. That's why I said AVAV. Like that's the one I'm looking. It's very, very close to that 50-period breakout to get me in. That's the one I'm watching. Aero Environment. Let's go up to the desk. We got 6 minutes, 7 minutes until the imbalances come out.
Yeah, so I know some people in the chat here are asking what's happened to software. That is ServiceNow. I just saw a couple comments about that. The ServiceNow earnings were not well received. Another earnings report that wasn't necessarily well received was IBM. Just saw an announcement with them. Google Cloud's been having their Google Cloud Next event this whole week with a couple announcements throughout. One of them involves IBM, which could be working with Google Cloud to accelerate enterprise data and hybrid cloud modernization. Basically just kind of a fluff headline, but keep an eye on these two stocks now. With regards to the market overall, I do have to talk about MSOS. Some of these names, slight bop here out off of intraday lows, and that's because we did get some comments basically touting the administration's rescheduling move, which was announced today. These comments are happening here at this Trump health event. He is still talking. There's been a lot of officials talking. I have not yet seen any question time happening yet. Probably will start soon. If and when it does, if there are any questions of note, I will keep you all posted because that's what we do. Back to you.
Thank you, Darren. Our earnings name is already dumping. Continuing its move to the downside is Intel. It's still up 1%, but it's giving up a lot. Keep in mind, the initial move, after falling all afternoon yesterday, the initial move was up on Tesla. Like it was a psych out, right? Like the selling yesterday was all correct all day long. The selling the day before was all correct. But in the moment when the earnings came out, it was a bit of a reversal. So it doesn't necessarily mean the first move will be down and that somebody knows something. Oh, I forgot. Skills halted here. I didn't mention. I said skills under my breath, but skills is halted to the upside. One of a bajillion halts today. Oddly enough, I think it's the only halt this afternoon. Since we came on, it halted once immediately, and then just here. Oh no, there's a down halt. So like the third time. Back above VWAP, holding the $10 level. They got a gigantic lawsuit settlement, which could award them $1 billion. It really will come down to, I forget the name, Papaya something?
Yeah, Papaya.
Papaya. It just comes down to the insurance that the Papaya has, because like they're nowhere within the realm of size to be able to pay it. So, how much you're going to be able to get out of that insurance. It seems like the $1 billion doesn't seem reasonable. It's just, I can't see them
quite
getting
a
it
bit,
all.
isn't it?
But given how small Skills is, this is obviously game changing for them.
Massive, man. It was kind of the same thing that happened in one of the meme stocks that we were trading a couple weeks ago when Sharif was away. AIXI, right? Like they were on the fortunate end of a settlement and they got like 300 million or something along those lines. And sure enough, it just decided to go absolutely parabolic for a couple of days. AIXI. Let's pull it up and see what we got going. AIXI. Chow Corp. So yeah, I mean, there it was, right? Like 2 days, you go from 27 cents all the way up to $2.71, and then you just don't rebound, right? So like 1,000% right there. Oh man, millionaire, bang. But as for car, oh man. That is absolutely disastrous, brother. 73%.
Emotional, damn it!
It goes way past emotion. It goes like it's
Who put that one?
Car had an accident. Yeah, exactly. It was a massive accident. It was catastrophic, essentially here. 855 once again, 75%. At this pace, I wouldn't be surprised if we go back to $100 or something along those lines in this name. It was disastrous, absolutely disastrous. We're gonna send things off here. Adara.
Are you guys tired of headlines? I hope not, because we have more. Keep an eye here on the market as we get now trade reports. We had lots of Middle East headlines, but tariffs and trade are still a thing too, guys. Reports suggesting that the EU has been internally cautioning here that their trade deal with the U.S. could unravel due to, I guess, some proposed changes. So now concerns that the EU and U.S. trade deal and tariff deal could fall through. So many headlines. Where would you be if not here? So stay here, guys, for more headlines. Back to you.
More headlines. Oh, and by the way, your favorite stock is at the low of the day there, Adara.
Oh, Oracle?
How did you guess? You're literally dancing? Okay. Oh, I'm the wrong way. We'll just let Adara dance it off. Adara is the Oracle of Oracle? Yeah, that's fine. I mean, yeah, it works. It's good enough. I'm not going to be as good at the puns as Adara is. But let's be real. We talked about this with Steve. Yeah, it's pulling back. It looks nasty, but you're pulling back into support on like a mini bull flag-ish setup. Like tomorrow, I hesitate to say this, it's the end of the week, so sometimes these aren't the best, but Oracle has got a bit of a gap if it loses this 173. And when I say bit of a gap, we're talking about $10, $12 if we lose the bid here on Oracle tomorrow. And it's not the only stock that looks like this. So I know we're all oil this and Iran that, but these software names, yuck, and more yuck, led by your champion here, ServiceNow, 17% down. The only positive here, like I'm looking at the damage that got done on like PanW, and PanW did end up holding this one. It did end up bouncing that 170. So it got support from 2 days ago. And maybe the cybersecurity names will be just a little bit better off. We got 2 minutes till the imbalances come out. Let's go back up to the desk, Adair, with another story.
Tons of chip companies here being touted by Howard Lutnick and President Trump here. Howard Lutnick, of course, Commerce Secretary. President Trump saying chip companies are coming to the U.S. from both Taiwan and South Korea thanks to their efforts. He said that these tariffs are the reason we had the rise of chip manufacturing in the U.S. Micron and Intel, two of the companies directly named. Here is INTC, and here is MU. Neither company reacting really to this at all. But either way, just be aware, President Trump and Howard Lutnick getting excited about chip companies moving their manufacturing to the United States of America. Back to you.
Yeah. All right.
Skills is now. Oh, Skills open. For some reason, I'm like, it's probably not going to open, but it's not even 340 yet. So Skills opened up. It's still only at about 13 bucks. But yeah, looking pretty good for sure. With 1 minute to the imbalances, this is just useless. Get on the bid again. I'm just going to punch out.
Intel did get a little bit of a pop, but nothing substantial.
Well, wait till the imbalances come out. Intel's pretty normal for it to have a decent size imbalance, and they report tonight, so maybe they're the ones that'll pop up here. It's really just Carnival still, 1.8 million shares to the buy side that would be significant. I mean, Cliffs is pretty small. FCX, it's not really not a stock that usually we would care about. They did a report, got smoked. 20 seconds to go. Maybe Intel will have an imbalance. I don't know, but that's probably the name that I think we'll have on watch. They, of course, with the report tonight, they better beat. I'll leave it at that. Better make money. Margins better improve. The margins are a big one for them. But you know what? It's actually going to be the conference call because their yield is such a big deal. You want an improvement there. So imbalances just dropped. There we go. Kenvue's always there. NVIDIA, 2 million to the sell side. PAC-B, 1.8 million to the sell side. ETHA, 1.6 million to buy. Warner Brothers, a sell of 1 million. They had a vote today on the deal. Intel, buy of 1 million shares on Intel. And it did rally. Ooh, I don't know if I'd want to chase that one. But it's a little bounce there. It's done 100 million shares today. A 1 million imbalance to the buy side is not that big of a deal. The overall market, however, 1.6 billion to the sell side. So overall, what are you going to do? Like NVIDIA is a 2 million sell. That'll be a pretty big deal. Actually, TLT there for 1.1 million. Amazon, 900,000. Rivian's a buy. Hey, Rivian's almost 1 million shares to the buy side. Not moving, not interesting at all. What is our good friend? I just saw Big Scalp say Tesla, please. What is Tesla doing? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I didn't see Tesla on the imbalance locator. If I scroll this far down to the, Apple's there for 700K.
Oh, APLD
Walmart.
I seen on there.
700K.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's done like 50 million share volume on APLD.
Yeah, that's fair. And I mean, there was some continuation after that here. You get a pullback about 30-40%, and then you go off to the races, breaching this pre-market high, and then you start to form these higher lows. But at the end of the day, it's been pretty choppy here on Applied Digital. Thought we'd see a little bit more clean, but multiple opportunities to get involved with this across the board as I scroll through the 1 minute time frame and look for entries. But APLD, not it right now. The market, same thing. You have that volatility spike. We were expecting that. USO still hovering around. So, I mean, damn. Baby, BBAI is sell, but small sell. I didn't see BBAI on the locator. I know Neil was just pulling up a couple of them.
Was it? I didn't see it.
I didn't see it. These are all noisy here.
AI. Oh, there it is. 600K to sell on BBAI.
Always on there. Why is Kenvue always on here?
You know what? I don't know. But it is always there.
Like it's
every single
always
SGov and Kenvue are always on the locator, and it doesn't matter. Where's BBI? Oh, it's right at the 50 period under $4. Needs to hold the 50. No, but there's some names. Like I know we always gloss over the ones that show up. Like Kenvue's there every single day, and SGov usually was there a second ago. I don't see it anymore. I just took out Beyond Meat. Maybe the bigger flush will be tomorrow, but it lost $1 today and only went down to the low was 95. I just feel this could go all the way back. And I'll still be looking for the other direction. Oh, the short, I think tomorrow. As long as it's holding underneath the dollar. You just said Softy. That's bouncing. Maybe that was a bit of a buy and bounce. Softy. I didn't see Microsoft on here. NVIDIA's pairing off a little bit. You got Intel, still that buy. Intel's still going higher. This probably was a good long to play this one on the imbalances, but I don't feel it. Custom poll. We've got Intel will be up, flat, or down. So you got 1 for up, 2 for flat. That's boring. 3 for down. after earnings. So forget about the first move. Where's it going to end up, everybody? Where is it going to end up? So type 1 for up, type 2 for flat. Everyone's got an opinion. Flat is not, that's just the one, it's not going to happen. Like, nothing is flat after earnings. Like, there can be a small move, but flat, who's even voting for that? You're crazy. You got 5, 6 votes for flat. Almost everybody feeling like they're going to be down. I see 68%. Well, right now the stock is going up, and we got about 5 minutes to go to the close. We will bring it to you. They're expected pretty much right after the bell, so we'll be able to stick around, cover Intel's earnings, and then get right out of here. Make sure you guys get the goods. They are the biggest one. Well, for the most interesting name that reports tonight, if we're being real about it. They're not the only name, but they're the most interesting name that's going to be reporting tonight. The story of the day. I know Intel is going to be a big deal, but the story of the last 2 days, or I guess the move up was pretty impressive too. CAR will have closed almost the entirety of the gap as of today. I've seen unwind before. I can't remember. We even said it would unwind fast. I cannot remember something unwinding quite this way to the downside. Very unique in terms of the speed that it got to. Just absolutely nasty. So we'll see what happens. Again, like I said, we have about 5 minutes to go. Because Intel has an imbalance on it, or at least it did, must have paired off a little bit. Yeah, paired a little bit down to 1. Amazon has actually got bigger. That's now 1.1 sell. But at 55, it is usually when you get a pairing event. Notice how you don't see Intel anymore. Amazon paired down to 700,000. NVIDIA paired down to 700,000 as well. So at 355, that's often what happens. And lo and behold, a bit of a pullback there in INTC. Not much, but a little bit of a pullback. Now, the poll's up. What do you think? You didn't get a chance to vote.
Yeah, well, what was the poll?
Up, flat, or down on Intel?
Oh, okay. Do we know what the expected move is?
I'm thinking flat's just flat. I don't think it didn't say respective to the expected move.
Okay. I'm going to go with flat.
What?
Put that in there too.
Yeah, but nothing's ever flat.
You don't know that.
Earnings?
Flat.
Flat means
Apple typically does, the NVDA sometimes.
Okay, what are we calling flat? Literally, so okay, less than 1%, less than 1%? Because in my book, flat is less than 1%.
Let's go plus or minus 1.5. Plus or minus 1.5.
You think Intel moves less than 1.5%?
I'm not saying off the initial moves it might, but I think at some point if it's strong, boring prediction. No, I think that's a hot one, to be honest.
All right, how about I'll bet lunch. I'll pick up you.
No. That's not a bet that I want, my boy.
Oh, well, then what's the point?
Don't forget, you have the whole field and I have the Dodgers.
Okay, so you think
Can I get one more team on there?
No, you don't offer a bet and then try to get some kind of a... No, I'm not letting you off the hook on that one. This guy we have a bet because for some reason he made an insanely...
But I'm at a 2-1 though. Don't forget, I'm at a 2-1. Yeah.
I don't care how good the Dodgers are. In baseball, almost any major, I'll take the field every time. You're gonna give it to me. I'm gonna take it.
It's all right.
Also, don't like the Dodgers.
I got a 2-1.
My Jays.
My odds are there. It should be 3-1.
My Jays. Let's go to there.
I want to do an Intel earnings preview. So how we're going to do this, I'm going to quickly run down what people are expecting from INTC. Then we're going to go back to the guys after the bell. The second I see the numbers, we'll go back to me. So that's how we're going to do this, just to keep this nice and clean and easy and simple and fresh for y'all. INTC, here is our CEO, Lip Bhutan, not our CEO, but Intel CEO, who has done obviously a lot for the company. Revenue, $12.26 billion is what we're expecting. EPS, we're expecting 1 cent a share. So just profitable. They had a massive adjusted EPS beat last quarter. They also beat on sales, but their guidance for this quarter did leave a lot to be desired. In fact, their guidance here, this estimate roughly the midpoint, but analysts were actually looking for $12.5 billion for them for this quarter. So gonna have to wait and see what happens. They did predict they're going to have low supply this quarter, so watch for supply issues. INTC, we've had Lip Bhutan as CEO for just over a year. He started, I think, on March 18th of 2025, and he's already made deals with companies like SoftBank, NVIDIA, the U.S. government, not even a company, and most recently TerraFab, the Elon Musk project. So lots here on watch at stake for INTC. We already had the 14A process announcement here from Elon Musk with Tesla yesterday. So what's next for INTC? I don't know, but we're going to pay more than some lip service to Lip Bhutan tonight. We'll give you all the earnings. We're going to go back to the guys right after the bell the second I get the numbers. I'll share them all with you right here.
Of course, one of the big ones, I want to see how those margins are doing for them. That's going to be a big deal. Obviously, the stake that they've got from the U.S. government is a big help. On the call, I want to hear what they have to say. Well, not just about the Terrafab, but any other potential. If they even hint that this is like the first, and there's other clients that could come in, I think that could be really big. So it'll be an interesting earnings call as well.
Yeah.
But with 90 seconds to go here, as we said, some of the big stories this afternoon.
Crazy.
It's actually pretty cool that the market is going to be able to get back into VWAP, because there was a moment this afternoon where it felt like, oh, seriously, like this again? Like we're just going to give everything up and we're just going to go tank city. But it didn't. We actually recovered pretty well. The NASDAQ's still going to be down, but if you put it into context, the NASDAQ's down 0.5%, but we were down about a quarter at the open. And we had Tesla that was down after earnings. We had ServiceNow that was down after earnings. We had IBM that was down after earnings. We had Lam give up most of their move after earnings and be barely green. I think it was like Texas Instruments was the only name that was actually up significantly after earnings.
Yeah.
That was a bigger cap tech name. So 0.5% down doesn't seem that bad here today. The sentiment was overall red to begin with, and we will see if Intel is able to hold on to, it's still up 2%, like hold on to some of these gains with about 20 seconds to go. We are expecting them pretty much right after the bell. It doesn't mean they're going to come out right at 4 o'clock, but shortly after, we should rapidly get Intel, which that one would have to triple to make that
Yeah, we have Lockheed after the
to
bell.
make that trillion.
Yeah, sorry, before the Lockheed. Lockheed, yeah, this morning, yeah. After the close, I mean, what we have here, I'm sure we went over that on multiple occasions, but we'll do it one more time.
Newmont as well.
Newmont, yes, exactly. A lot of companies here after the bell today. Let's see, Thursday. So Intel, Newmont, Digital Reality. Okay, yeah, I mean, I think that's it, really. Dara mentioned that Lockheed and Thermo Fisher already reported this morning. So, yeah, Intel going to be the headliner for tonight. Looking forward to that one. We'll get ready to rock and roll and prepare for what we got going on. I mean, Intel, Microsoft.
It's creeping a little bit.
Yeah, is it creeping? Is it slowly starting to uptick? INTC.
There's a little volume coming in, but
there it goes.
Not enough that I'd be sure that it's out yet. But you're getting a little bit of an uptick in volume. It's still going back and forth. Like you just crept 30, 40 cents up. Someone slammed it down. Again, now it's still just people that are brave enough to sort of mark it in, that now it's out.
There it's out.
You know, that's a difference. All the way to 70. 70 is the high. Through 70, my goodness, 71.
71.
So are you Intel is not playing around. Tesla did this to us yesterday, so please hold on. Let's go to Adair. We've got the numbers.
I have it here, INTC. I'll put it up on my screen right now because my screen's kind of cluttered. This is their official report, guys. There's no speculation. This is their official press release. First quarter revenue, $13.6 billion, well above the estimates I showed you, about $12.25 billion. So nice beat, and it's also up 7% year over year. Loss per share here, 78 cents per share, but non-GAAP EPS earnings, 29 cents. We'll have to wait and see how analysts and everyone react to that. They're forecasting Q2 revenue for 26 between $13.8 billion and $14.8 billion, so midpoint $14.3 billion. Expecting Q2 EPS for Intel, 8 cents, non-GAAP EPS, 20 cents per share. Quote from Lutnick, quote, the next wave of AI will bring intelligence closer to the end user, moving from foundational models to inference to agentic. So lots of AI talk. They're going to like that on the street here. Gross margin improving by 2.5 basis points year over year to 39.4%. They also lifted their 2026 CapEx plan to now it's even with last year. So they're expecting to spend as much this year as they spent last year. Operating margin loss actually improving as well. Sorry, that's actually down year over year. Tax rate up year over year. Year over year. So kind of a mixed report here in terms of the nitty gritty. When you go sector by sector revenue, data revenue up 22% year over year, so good look for AI. Founder revenue up 16% year over year. Other revenue down 33% year over year. So yeah, again, overall, we had a 7% revenue increase being led, it looks, by data center, AI, and Foundry, and then everything else kind of just a wash. But again, they said they're going to be way ahead of schedule on their Foundry improvements, and their demand is strong for data center CPUs. Now that I've monologued about Intel earnings, we'll send you over to the guys. Just know Trump is taking questions. Back to you.
Under 76 is the all-time high on Intel, and we tagged 75.5. I mean, effectively, and you're going way back. you're now talking about the last time this was up there was like 2000, right? Like we're talking the dot-com bubble highs. So that is a big number on that. It's a data center at 22%. The foundry at 16 is nice, but the data center at 22%, that's a good look for them.
Like
so it's a great job, and look, obviously the U.S. government's got to be pretty happy with that investment. I just want to see if it can make an all-time high. It's so close. So close. It is going. You break 76, and you are going to an all-time high. Unbelievable Intel. What a ride. That is 4x from when the U.S. government bought it. 4x, Adara.
20% here.
I have some stuff on Intel. Main thing here with Intel, I read through basically the whole report for you guys, so we have a lot of that commentary. But one thing they did say that I did not see in the report initially is that they're not going to be commenting on deals with external customers. Now, that could, of course, refer to a potential tariff deal. It's not shocking that they'd be keeping their cards close to the vest, but that's the deal here with INTC. Everything else I kind of ran over for you guys. Again, it was a beat on EPS. As far as beat on revenue, EPS kind of unclear. I think they beat on an adjusted basis, but they did report losses on a non-adjusted basis. Guidance here, they're getting around $14.3 billion on the midpoint. Let's talk about Iran, because President Trump has made so many comments over the last 2 minutes on Iran. He said, don't rush him when it comes to making deals with Iran. Quote, don't rush me. He said that their military is totally defeated. They have all this new leadership, which is fighting with one another, and they will be taking out small boats when they see them. The blockade is 100% effective, and Iran is getting no business. That last piece, there's some evidence to suggest that's not quite the case, but we're going to have to wait and see what happens here. He says they're going to knock everything down, and if they've reloaded, they'll take care of it. So lots of headlines. But again, we'll be here tomorrow, and we'll be here as you guys continue to digest Intel. As I said here, I think INTC, we've gone through everything here. They said Foundry doing quite well. We know their Foundry business actually improving on a year-over-year basis, and CapEx for 2026 being lifted. They're now expecting to spend as much this year as they spent in fiscal 25.
There you go.
There you go.
I mean, just unbelievably impressive. Like, will it hold on to it? I think is a bigger question. We did see this. This is distinctly, I know there's going to be a lot of comparison to what we saw yesterday with Tesla, because you'll be like, oh, well, Tesla gapped up and then tanked. Tesla didn't even get to the expected move.
No.
And then pull back. There's a very big difference between that 5% or whatever we were up on Tesla and then ending up in the red, and 18% higher and blowing out the expected move by a wide margin. Like, this could pull back significantly and still stay double digits and crushing that expected move. So that's the difference here between Intel and Tesla. It doesn't have the same feeling. Like, if it had come in and just gone to like 70, 71, then I would think there would be a little bit more chance of a huge fugaze, but that's absolutely insane.
Intel gross margins up to 39.4%.
Well, this is what I'm saying.
Too,
these are big. This is a good report for them. And have a look at AMD. Drag it up. You think you're the only one that can make all-time highs? Wow. No, hold my beer. AMD just tagged $318. Oh, it is also flying to the upside. So obviously, it is all about Intel. It's a great report. There is no offense or buts about it. Whether you're talking about data center, whether you're talking about the gross margin, there is a bit of a pullback coming in. Remember, the prior all-time high is at 76.
Yeah.
So that could be a key level coming back in. You always look at that prior resistance potentially turning into support.
What do you say now, Adara? Let us know what he said here momentarily.
Good.
Yeah, Adara's good to go. I'll touch up one more time. Oh, chime in. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so this is not Intel. This is Iran, but this is actually pretty notable. So he was asked, hey, you said 4 to 6 weeks. It's been 4 to 6 weeks. President Trump said, well, we took a break. So it's still kind of within the 4 to 6 week parameter. He said he could make a deal right now. He could go over and make a deal, but he wants to make the best deal, saying they have total control of the strait. When he's been asked, he's been quite testy here with reporters who, have suggested, why is this conflict not ending? So some tensions here, both in the White House and, of course, here in the Middle East with the USO. But again, guys, one thing I want to mention here with INTC, we know they had that year-over-year growth for data center and AI revenue up 22% year-over-year, as I mentioned. Company also guiding that growth is going to continue. So Intel guiding not just like the current strong quarter for AI revenue, but they said that the AI revenue strength will likely persist. So again, another win for Lip-Bu Tan.
Thank you very much, Dara.
margins already. Foundry revenue at 5.4 billion, products revenue 12.8 billion, and then 7% revenue year-over-year growth. So I mean, it's looking good. Lip-Bu turning things around. I'm sure Adair's got some more data as from a performance standpoint between the previous Intel CEOs. Lip-Bu definitely has to be close to the top of the list.
It's not even close. So like there actually was one that was really good, Brian Krasanich, but then he left the company for I'll say improprieties. You can Google them if you want to know more. But he was quite good for Intel stock. And then they had a revolving door of CEOs, including Bob Swan, who's now on the Nike board with our pal Tim Cook. Pat Gelsinger was horrible for Intel stock, and he was also really bad for the company. They had 4 consecutive years of revenue declines while he was in the chair. Now, of course, Lip-Bu Tan will have to update that performance under his tenure tomorrow, Joe. But last time I checked, it was up 60%, I think, since he started, and it's obviously up more than that. So Lip-Bu Tan has been Lip-Bu Green for Intel.
It's not even close.
He's going to be out tanning somewhere, that's for sure. But
well, I hope the shorts on Intel wore the brown pants tonight.
Yeah, Lip-Bu Green.
Because it has been all green.
Yeah,
unbelievably
20%.
impressive. And let's keep in mind, our viewers had overwhelming, actually 63, it was higher than 63% when we originally did it, but 63% were saying down. So it was pretty bearish going into it, but it doesn't matter. It's up 17%, and we'll be here to trade it tomorrow, no question about it. Will Intel still be at an all-time high? Or above that prior all-time high after this print. Unbelievable. We'll go back to Adair for the last time, and then we'll get you guys out of here on a great day for Intel, at least.
Yeah, I apologize, guys, getting you guys a little bit late because we've had a lot of Middle East news that I want to cover for you while we're here. President Trump saying that, quote, if Iran doesn't move oil, their infrastructure will explode, saying that it'll only be a matter of days until he takes that action. Their ships are, quote, locked and loaded. Back to you.
I did everything right, and they indicted me.
There we go.
That's crazy.
So thank you guys, everybody. Yeah. Look, it's going to be another wild one. We'll end the week with a bang for sure. There will be volatility. We'll still have to keep our ear to the ground when it comes to Iran news, but we still have earnings to deal with. We'll have day 2 for Tesla. We'll have day 2 for ServiceNow. Sorry, day 3 technically. And we'll have post-earnings on Intel. Be a great way to wrap up the week. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you at 8 a.m. We're Trader TV Live. Rest up. It's going to be another wild one tomorrow. Peace.